Welcome to the 111th weekly episode of Marked Out Radio. We are the premier podcast focused on the hobby of collecting autographs and photo ops from celebrities. We talk about autograph conventions, on-the-street encounters, and everything else about the hobby. I'm Sean.
I'm Dana.
And we are here with the little rat himself.
I am so excited to be here. I'm honored to talk about all the food we just consumed at Portillo's. That's what the people are tuning in for,
absolutely,
right?
Because we are on location from Chicago, Illinois. We just finished day one of Fan Expo Chicago. But before we get into our report from Fan Expo Chicago, we have to talk about what happened on the board this week, or the marked out autograph collecting community on Facebook. Specifically, fan favorite Matt Lillard, who really is like everyone's favorite celebrity. Everyone has a great thing to say about him usually. There was kind of a crazy fan interaction with him this week that kind of went viral all over the community.
Yeah, apparently some lunatic fan, as most of them tend to be, including us sometimes, was telling him at a previous signing some crazy theory that they had of connecting characters that he had from one project to another. And Matt said to him, kind of in a loving way, I guess, "What the hell are you smoking?" And this fan internalized this and took this with him, and then came back to a future event and to a Q&A and got in one of those awkward question lines that you have to get in to ask this question, to tell him that he never forgave him for what he said and that he lost him as a fan. And Matt kind of awesomely just said, well, that wasn't a question. That was a weird question. Or said something like dismissive again. That definitely this guy now is waiting for the next Q&A to really tell him off.
I mean, this is one of those things where Q&As are kind of dangerous territory, and that the kind of person who's willing to sort of muster up either the energy or the courage or what have you to get up there and ask a question is usually going to produce something strange. I mean, when I was at the Fan Expo Philly Q&A for John Cena, one guy got up there and proposed marriage to his girlfriend. Another guy got up there and talked about how John Cena prevented him from committing suicide. It was just these completely unhinged sort of things. And so I imagine this Matt Lillard situation was kind of no different. What do we think here, fellas, about the Q&As? I mean, I don't really attend them. Dana, did you attend them, Linda?
I've attended a few. I was telling you guys earlier today about one that I attended with Dolph Lundgren that was actually kind of enjoyable back in Galaxy. It was at GalaxyCon Richmond last year, I believe. And it was fun, and sometimes, and I went to one. It was Wayne Knight and who else from Jurassic Park talking about. No, it was Wayne Knight. I forget who he was with actually, but it was anyway. Wayne Knight was there. That was a good one. But whenever I go to any of these, and I do go to them semi-rarely, whenever they open up the Florida questions, and I see the line begin to form of the humanity that is lining up, I'm dreading what is going to come from these people's mouths. Very, very rarely do you get something insightful. It really just feels like another opportunity for, as we say, life storying. Right?
Yes.
And they just don't have to pay for an autograph at the table to do the life story. You can pay for your con pass and go to the panel and do your life story. And it's always, but what's good is most of the people that do this stuff are actual fans. This moron doesn't even like the guy. And he showed up. I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to places to confront people that I don't like. When John Rocker did his rant against the 7 Train and New Yorkers, I didn't show up to Turner Field to tell John Rocker how much I disliked him. That's essentially what this idiot did, is he came to say, I'm not a fan, and let me tell you why.
It really, I think we live in an era, and we've discussed this before, I think we live in an era where everyone believes that because they have the ability to share their opinion, that means they ought to share their opinion. And I don't know where this belief emerged, from where it emerged, because it wasn't always true that people were so free with sharing their feelings, but that is what's this is really a good example of what happened here. First of all, anyone who goes up and tries to talk to an actor about connections between movies that they had no hand in writing or creating in any way, that just shows sort of a weird misunderstanding of what an actor does and what a film is. I'm not surprised that a guy like that doesn't know what an actor does and what a film is. But then the next step is when he told Matt Lillard his fan theory or whatever. What did he anticipate the reaction would be? Did he think he was going to say, "Oh, you're right. You're right. You figured it out. You mad genius, you." You know what I mean? Like what does he think?
Finally, Lady and the Tramp and Godfather have been connected.
So all of a sudden, this guy's gonna.
Well, to be fair, both films have pasta.
That is true.
And so I don't. Part of the problem is you're going to, what exactly is the interaction you expect? What are you anticipating here? Did you typically when as a human being, when you act, you anticipate a consequence of that action? I get up off the chair. I'm going to walk across the room, or I throw a baseball. I expect it to be caught. Whatever. There's sort of an analogous complementary reaction, I guess. And when he confronted Matt Lillard with this initial theory, what was his expected response? I don't think he ever thought that part through. And so then here we are when he got sort of vaguely insulted, because what he really wanted was this intense validation that he probably would never receive. When he didn't receive that, he's going to continue to air this grievance. So it is funny, it is weird, but I kind of think at this stage of the game, all these Q&As, all they do is mess up the autograph times and schedules and photo op schedules.
Yeah, they're useless. And all these dregs of society that go up to ask the questions, they're not that eager to share at the Narcotics Anonymous and the AA meetings that they should be or probably do frequent. So, I don't know why they're so chatty.
No, I think
in a convention center.
They're intended to keep up these parasocial relationships that these people think they have with celebrities, and it allows them to continue this idea that they have this hero worship, right? That these people are all knowing, right? He's just an actor. He doesn't know anything.
Frequently know very little. It's true.
And I don't know about you guys, but the actors that I know are very stupid.
Do I know any actors? Not really.
Mr. T did save me today from killing myself, so that's something.
All right, next topic. I don't remember even this being a post on the board, so you're gonna have to help me out. I guess Scott Steiner was sitting at an empty table. Was he Virgiling or something?
Basically, it's the same thing we saw today, which we'll get to in a little bit. Scott Steiner was at Steel City Con, and they were repeated. I saw several people posting pictures of him completely lonely Virgil. And I think it just points out the idea that these people are not suited for every convention. Scott Steiner in 2026 does not belong at every convention. Definitely not with the price structure he has adopted.
Well, I think that's the big part of it. I think this is less a symptom of he doesn't belong at every convention to how he has developed a reputation for himself specifically, especially over the last 24 to 36 months.
He's a jerk, number one.
Oh, he is by far the meanest wrestler I've ever met.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, actually. I mean, Road Warrior Animal was a complete jerk.
We won't speak about the dead that way.
Who cares? He was a jerk. He was rude, aggressively rude all the time.
I thought he was fine in my encounter.
No, I had two very, very, shockingly rude encounters with Road Warrior Animal.
Did you ever wear his pads?
No.
No. Really?
No. I was not. I met him at Cinemania as part of the Super Ticket. Was one of them. I don't remember the other one. Who else was mean? I'm trying to think. But he's more. I would say Bubba Ray Dudley. Bubba Ray.
X-Pac was mean to you.
Yeah, it was been good fun. It was good fun. Bubba Ray Dudley is always mean.
That's true, but I find Scott to be meaner in a worse way. Scott is like dismissive of you.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be there. Bubba is a jerk, but that's almost part of the shtick. You know that's what you're getting with him. With Scott, it doesn't feel like a shtick. It just feels like he's a jerk.
Yeah. Well, he's texting while he's doing the thing.
Yeah.
He's not paying attention.
When he signed his Gloob for me, it was at a convention in Niagara Falls, the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. And he was trying to pull something with the conversion rate. Either he was confused or he was trying to confuse the handler. He's changing prices on the fly. Steiner math, yeah. And it's a great point. But he pulls that kind of stuff all the time.
So, yeah, he's not great. I mean, his brother is considerably nicer than he is.
Well, his brother almost like doesn't want to be involved in the math of it. Yeah. So at that same convention in Niagara Falls, they both signed their Galoobs for me. But the interaction was with Scott and the handler, and then Rick was at a table next to them just doing as he was told.
Yes. But happily doing so. He's not I would say friendly, but he's much more reasonable.
Well, he's in real estate, so he understands the sort of the BS you have to do to make a sale.
I think part of it, Scott just has a massive chip on his shoulder as a person. And it comes across.
And an ego, and greed, and, pick your sin.
Yeah, that's true. We've run through quite a few sins.
Yeah.
So when you see... This is an interesting question, actually. When you see someone at a con sitting there at an empty table, does that sort of influence your opinion of them, or does it influence whether or not you want to get them? Have you ever gone up to someone where you might entertain the idea of getting them, and then you see them being a lonely Virgil all day and you pass?
If anything, I think the absence of a line it makes you feel like you should be on that line, or be the line, because it's quick and easy. You're going to be done, in and out. But I think it also, as we've talked about, the people... I was listening to a little segment Kevin Nash did on his podcast about, like, conventions, and he said that whenever his line dies down, he's like, I'm not sitting out there waiting for people to show up. He's like, I go to the green room, wait for it to for people to sort of file in, and I come back. And Piper was big with that. He was too vain to be sitting there with nobody around. And some of these guys, like Scott Steiner, he doesn't even look up from his phone, so he probably didn't even know he was alone. He's just sitting there, he doesn't know what's going on.
Well, he has to, his whole thing is he has to project that he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Well, like when we saw, I'm going to be honest, when when we were at Fan Expo Philly that time, and I saw Helen Hunt sitting alone for a long time, I was tinkering with the idea of getting Helen Hunt, and it sort of sullied her in my eyes. Well, she's sort of undesirable as a guest. I know that sounds insane, but I didn't get her as a result.
That surprises me, because I feel like whenever I've seen Helen Hunt at a con, she's got a pretty decent line.
Not a soul.
Never. I've seen her 3 times, I think, and it's always the same story.
That's wild. I know she's doing a few coming up. I think maybe GalaxyCon Des Moines, I want to say she's at.
Maybe she's a big draw in Des Moines.
Oh, people love Twister in Des Moines because they relate to the weather there.
I want to know. I would love to find out why the hell when she's never actually done a con with Paul Reiser.
Have they never? Because Paul Reiser's done cons.
Yes, they've
he
never
did
done
Monster Mania not too long ago, right?
They did
Oaks.
They haven't done one together. That's a no-brainer. Do a reunion. Do a Mad About You shot.
Can you imagine the duo ops that they would sell?
I don't know how many they would sell. I thought it would be cool. I would get one.
I mean, they would definitely do better business together than they do alone. I'm not sure how popular Mad About You is in the convention world in 2026, but it would certainly be their strongest output, I think.
I think it would have to be one of these cons that has a slightly older audience. I don't know if a
Christmas con or something.
Or like
90s con. 90s con would do well.
But 90s con doesn't feel like the right audience for that because 90s con is
women.
more like Boy Meets World.
No, it's a lot of women. A lot of women go to 90s con. In fact, 90s con has like the most woman heavy demographic of any con.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
but I feel like it would have to be like one of the hotel cons, like a Chiller or a Monster Mania
or a Hollywood show.
Or a Hollywood show is great. Or, hey, maybe they should be next booked for Fanfinity.
Maybe.
Maybe women, but also people who like that Paul Reiser New York humor. Man About You was huge.
It had its moment.
It was huge. It was a notch below Cheers. It wasn't as big as a Seinfeld, right? But
it was definitely, it occupied that tier right below those big shows.
I mean, there are shows of that era whose stars do cons that are not as big as Mad About You. Like, I feel like the cast of Just Shoot Me does cons and, stuff like that. And Mad About You is a much bigger deal. And you get Jamie and Paul Buckman together. That's the show.
Yeah.
You don't need other. Yes, there were other cast members on the show, but you don't need anybody. It's about the two of them. It's the equivalent of doing like the Seinfeld 4.
Yeah, it's the fact that it hasn't happened and the fact they both do cons leads me to believe there's a reason why it hasn't happened. There's no good to an outsider reason. So we can leave it at that. All right. Another thing that was talked about this week was, and I don't think this has ever come up before, that Mel Gibson, he recently did Steel City, right? What show was he at recently?
Not Steel City.
Oh, Fan Expo Boston.
Fan Expo
Boston. And he was not smiling in any of his pro photo ops. In fact, I would make the claim that he was sort of grimacing in his pro photo ops.
Are you trying to tell me that Mel Gibson might not be the nicest, most tolerant guy?
Look, when I met him, where I got the duel with Danny Glover, I mean, he wasn't like particularly effervescent, but he was cordial. I mean, when you got him at Sirius, he was nice. He was smiling and everything. He looked like he was in the process of receiving an enema at Fan Expo Boston. How important is it for a person you're getting a photo op with for them to look like they're having a good time, for you to be satisfied?
I don't know if I can be objective about the topic of Mel Gibson.
But let's speak more abstractly. Let's try to decouple for a second, and let's speak more abstractly. You get a photo op with a guest. They have a miserable sourpuss. Are you satisfied with that product, or do you want some kind of redo? Will it make you happier if you get a smiling photo?
Oh, I think you guys know that I'm not a big photo op guy. I get them very seldom of people that I really care about. So I think the point is probably moot for me particularly, because I don't think I would ever find myself in that situation, because I don't think one of the few select photo ops I pick would be someone who would have that demeanor.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're doing John Carpenter. John Carpenter is a miserable bastard.
That's true.
If John had teeth, you wouldn't see them.
Yeah, and I know we'll talk about the con that we're here in Chicago for later, but that is probably the first one that I have knowingly purchased a photo op for someone who is known to be a grump.
Yeah. But to be fair, when I met him at Steel City,
it's with Kurt Russell too. Yeah. I think
he's very nice.
He will add levity to the image.
When I was in Steel City, John Carpenter he's not grumpy. That's not the right characterization, I don't think, because he happily signed the stuff exactly how I asked. He's not grumpy. I just don't think he's very friendly.
I think that's right. I just don't think he's not gregarious.
No, he's not. No.
Yeah, he's not going to make jokes with you or chit chat, but it'll be all big. It's kind of like what Ron Perlman does, right?
I think Ron Perlman, though, can be a little bit funny. I think a lot of people misunderstand his gruffness as meanness. But I don't think it's the same thing. Yeah. I think he's a little more... Ron Perlman is a tricky one, because I've only had very positive experiences with him. Like, very.
Yeah. He always hits an item great.
Uh-huh.
He does exactly what you want. We were talking earlier today about my Batman animated series collection. He signed his name and put Clayface, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah. He cares about the items quite a bit.
Yes. I think so. And I think a lot of that comes from, a lot of his line is there for Hellboy. And he signed a lot of Hellboy items, they can be quite artistic in nature. Yeah. I've told you both, I think, about what my plans were for Mel Gibson. By the way, I would never purchase a thing for Mel Gibson, ever in a million years.
I believe you told me this. Something that you told me.
So I won't go into the specifics because...
Please don't reveal a potential future crime that Sean has to bleep out.
I bleep without hesitation. So
no, what I was going to do is if I were to do an autograph, I was going to request an inscription of some of the inappropriate remarks that he has made as like a quote. He was famously pulled over by a police officer. He said terrible things to the police officer. I was going to ask him to repeat that on the photo. So that was one. And if I did a photo op with him, right before the photo was taken, I was going to unfurl an Israeli flag.
Dana, what about you?
Don't cut this out.
Dana, what about you? Would you be unsatisfied or less than satisfied with the sourpuss photo op?
No. I actually get mad when people make the comments about, couldn't they smile? Couldn't they do this? Couldn't they do that? That's the expression. Who's standing there? There's a reason the movie Smile was a horror movie, because the people standing there smiling nonstop, it was weird.
No, but come on. There's gotta be instances where someone just is dead behind the eyes, and that's frustrating.
I mean, I think there's probably photo ops I take where I'm dead behind the eyes after a while. How Mel Gibson's not the kind. I'm going to stick to Mel Gibson because he's the topic of this whole dissatisfaction. He's not the nicest guy in general. Zach pointed out some of his shortcomings. Why are we expecting him to be acting like he's Roddy Piper or something? He's not. You paid for a photo op. He's standing there. You're next to him. I don't see the idea. Maybe you would prefer him to seem like he doesn't want to die while he's in your presence, but that's not something you're owed.
All right, on to the next. So Ricky Morton has a kid.
Yes,
and
unfortunately,
for those who don't know, one of Ricky Morton's moves is when you ask him for a rate for a booking, that he usually tries to shoehorn a booking in for his son as well. You experienced that.
And by him, you mean Kerry Morton basically runs Ricky Morton's email because he's an old man that doesn't really know how to use an email. So Kerry's the one that handles the fields the inquiries, and he kind of pork barrels his way into it. And I mean, nothing really against Kerry Morton, but you buy that guy even a plane ticket. And if you bought him a plane ticket, said, I'll pay you nothing. And, if you made a whole deal like that, where I'll pay you nothing, I get the plane ticket back from the first money you make, and then you keep everything after that, you wouldn't get the plane ticket back.
Right.
No one wants him. So the whole thing's ridiculous. And then our old friend Greg Price, who's a complete moron, is mad because Kerry Morton stole 8x10s, 75 8x10s or something.
The whole story, the problem with Greg Price, I'm saying like there's a singular problem. The problem with the situation is Greg Price explains certain elements of the story in tremendous detail. But then other elements are so abstract and missing detail that it makes you question the entire account. And that's a thing that, Greg's a very strange guy. Because in some ways, he's kind of brilliant in that he ran the most successful wrestling con in the country for years, where everyone who went raved about it. Everyone who went to that NWA, reunion fan fest thing in Charlotte for years and years and years and years raved about it. It was the best con ever. People loved it. They made lifelong friends there. People still ask people about those cons that they went to and Greg Price was running it, and their face lights up. He ran great cons, but he can't do basic things like be wrong about something and not throw a temper tantrum, or be presented in a slightly unfavorable light. He goes crazy So he's a very odd guy, and this is a case where when he made claims basically in public that Kerry Morton was caught stealing from him, and then when people asked him the very obvious natural question, like he says, "I caught Kerry Morton stealing from me." The follow up question that literally anyone on earth would have is, "What did he steal?" And he wouldn't answer that question.
It doesn't matter.
No, Greg, it does matter, right?
Let's tell that to the courts that...
No, but okay, did he steal the insulin out of your bag that you needed to maintain your diabetes? Did he steal $50 out of your wallet? Did he steal your driver's license? Did he steal your car? Did he steal your wife? What did he steal, Greg? And the fact that he wouldn't answer that question, and then he finally said he stole 8x10s, but then it became he stole the 8x10s and then threw them in the garbage. And then so what people have sussed out...
I throw a lot of stuff I steal into the garbage.
So what people have sussed out is now I don't know if this is true because Greg won't say, and you're blocked, so you won't ever know. I think what people...
Wait, are we just going to gloss over that?
Well, Dana fights with people all the time, and Greg is the type to just block. And we were actually trying to ascertain what the hell they fought about, and we couldn't quite remember.
I mean, I probably would have blocked him if he didn't block me, so it's like a shootout.
The shootout at the limited adult corral. But
the saloon sells orange juice.
So what I believe is people speculating that when Greg said he stole from him, what that meant was that Kerry wasn't going to sign Greg's extras, quote unquote, that were part of the deal.
Yeah.
Which was 75 8x10s. Do I believe that? I don't really know what the hell I believe. But there are other people who are making that assumption. I don't think it's a crazy assumption to make. And the fact that Greg would not confirm or deny anything suggests that it's something a little bit strange.
I'm going to make a hot take before we move on, just for the hell of it. Greg Price ran one of the best conventions. Like you said, all those things are true. But I think, honestly, his greatest skill in running those shows was the idea that the talent was alive and the talent was cheap enough that he could put those people together for a weekend and have an event like that. It's not rocket science to have wrestlers wrestle, have wrestlers sit around a bar and drink and be in a hotel. I mean, it was simple, paint by numbers. If Greg Price was really all that talented, then, I mean, do it today. Do it today with everyone dead. Do it today with everyone being expensive. He can't. His show, I didn't even know he was running a show anymore. Until I found out that Kerry Morton stole from him. I'm like, oh crap, he's still doing something.
I thought Marty runs the
He
show.
does, but he runs a different one. It's like the Mid-Atlantic, whatever the hell it is. It's a different show.
Exactly. The problem is the chances of me traveling for a wrestling show are more or less zero. The last time I traveled for a wrestling show was when I flew to Chicago for StarCast to get Kawada, and I just left. That was the most ridiculous trip ever. I came to the con, stayed there for an hour, and just flew back home.
See, my take is I would think wrestlers would know better at this point than to name their son Kerry. Feels like a bad omen.
Yeah, it's not great. It's definitely not great. But anyway, will we ever find out the real story behind this? Probably not.
No.
Do we know? Did we ever find out the story of Dhillon Hines and the Lex Luger inscriptions? I think that this story will.
He wrote the inscriptions, or someone wrote them for him.
Some, or kind of, or maybe, or some of them, or we won't relitigate this. But I think that this story will live in a similar place.
Yeah, probably. All right. I'm skipping this one. I don't care about it. Let's do reports for this week. You gonna handle some of these, or should I do them?
Yeah, I'll take some.
All
right. Steel City Con is raging on. We have Dave Kitlak went a little viral talking about Ken Jeong's autograph line.
Oh, that's a good story. A lady went crazy in the line, started yelling at everyone.
Yeah, and then she forced her way to the front of the table, which not a bad move.
No,
I've never tried that.
Irate customer.
Yeah. And she got to the front, and she got what she needed and left, and that was the end of that. And it was a lot of the same stuff that we talk about all the time, where they're not at the table. These people are not there. How do you VIP, triple VIP, ADA, Purple Heart ticket, whatever you got? How do you get the person if they're not there? They have to be at the table, and that's always a challenging element.
My understanding was that, like, I understand this woman's frustration. Apparently, he showed up late, which they all do. He worked for about an hour, and then he took a 2-hour lunch. That's a hell of a schedule, right? Then after his lunch, there was a Q&A, and then there was a photo op, and so all these things in the middle there. And then by the time he finally came back, there was something, and he signed for their hour, and they had to pull him for a photo op. That's what it was. And she just snapped. Because I can't stress enough, the way Monster Mania does Q&As is the way all shows do Q&A. They do it after the show floor. Yes, they should do. After the show floor closes, the Q&As all happen. That's it. And Monster Mania is one of the bigger regional cons. If they're still able to enforce that, any of these shows can enforce that if they're able to. And so the fact that they drag people away from their table where they can make money to have them do a Q&A in the middle of the day is sort of mind-boggling.
Well, the problem is a lot of these contracts that these talents sign with either the vendor or the convention or the promoter or whomever, it doesn't say how many hours they need to be sitting at a table signing autographs. And none of these jabroni business people want to put that in the contract because they know it will scare the talent away, and all they want to do is be able to spend some time with this guest.
Right. And what I don't understand, it wouldn't be that hard to outline the working conditions. Look, we didn't have a written contract with Olivia Hussey.
We expected the worst. We thought she would barely be at the table, and we'd have to force her and make a whole thing of it.
She took a brief lunch break. She took a brief bathroom break where I had to walk her to the bathroom once or twice. It was barely at all.
That's what that smell was.
No, I mean, honestly, when I walked her to her bathroom break, that was one of the few times that I kind of felt sympathy for her during the weekend, just because...
How far did you walk in with her?
No, just walk... Because she was hanging on my arm, and she just felt very frail on my arm. And so, because she was a bitch to me, right? And so, when she was hanging, as this frail creature hanging on my arm, then I kind of all right, she was posturing previously, that's why, because she was frail. And I didn't realize how frail she was until she touched me, So
it's Juliet, for Christ's sakes, right?
Yeah. So I think it's important to see them as human, but at the same time, they are only human, which means they need the parameters of their work defined. That's basically exactly what we're saying.
Yeah. I think that's right.
And these guys don't, the promoters and the agents, they're not willing to have that conversation. No. So you're going to need to get down at 11 o'clock. We're going to need you to be signing for at least 4 hours today. Whatever you can pick your 4. You got to sign for at least 4 hours. That's it. And or X number of hours, whatever it is. But they're just afraid to have the conversation.
How much assistance did Olivia need inside the stall?
I didn't. I walked to the edge of the bathroom. That was
okay.
It. But even there, even a 2-hour lunch break after working for an hour is psychotic. I don't get it.
Well, I know I'll hold because it's it has to do with the con today.
All right. What else? Fan Expo Boston was last week?
It was last week.
So our own Zach Chiera, this guy gets all over the place.
He really does.
I'm a big Zach Chiera fan.
Me too,
and not just because we share the same first name. He spells it differently.
Yeah.
But we've bonded over our Seinfeld collections. We've even shared some hippos and some items between each other.
Double teamed the hippo.
His post that blew up about getting what's her name, Deborah Jo Rupp.
Yeah.
So I told Zach, about the play that she was going to be in, saying, me and Brett Pasternak, we're going to go up and we're going to meet Deborah Jo Rupp and we're going to get her to sign a Seinfeld thing.
Loose lips Linder over here.
And he went, that's a pretty good idea. So then he goes, he gets the thing, the post blows up, and me and Brett, we never make it up there. Not because the post blew up, just because, it's one of those things where the play is running for a certain number of months, and we're like, we'll get up there eventually. And then it didn't pan out.
That post still one of the most viewed marked out posts of all time.
Without a single negative response. There was not one limited adult on there trying to act self-righteous.
Yeah, that is a fascinating social experiment. But anyway, both Zach and Ron had fantastic experiences at Fan Expo Boston. They both met John Rhys Davies, who was a delight. John Rhys Davies is a delight, period.
You met him today.
I did. He's another one that no one has a bad thing to say about him. Everyone loves him.
Did he tickle you?
He did not tickle me. Not on the record, anyway. Not that I can describe.
I think the only thing you can say badly about him is that he takes too much time with fans.
Yeah.
I was at his table once. I didn't want to have a conversation with him, but he initiates the chit-chat.
Yeah.
I think Robert Englund, who we might talk about later, that's a little different.
Yeah.
He will entertain the chit-chat. John Rhys Davies initiates it.
He's a really sweet guy. He really is.
And I know that's bothered our friend Others.
Yeah.
Because Others has waited in his line for an item to get signed for me.
An 8x10. Oh, for you.
No, it's for me. It wasn't an 8x10. It was a trading card. But he was furious. I almost said his name. I don't want to ruin the bit. But he was furious because John Rhys Davies is chit-chatting with everybody. So yeah, that's the bad thing about him. He's too friendly.
But I would take too friendly over
Scott Steiner
or not at the table at all, right? So, but it looked like Fan Expo Boston was great. I will say that show was plagued by lots of last minute cancellations, but at the end of the day, they delivered Chris Evans, and that's a name of that caliber is a huge win overall, and apparently, Chris Evans worked. He was at the table all day. He saw hundreds of people.
I heard one complaint that he didn't want to be touched, and he didn't seem like he wanted to be there. But that's the deal. The A-listers, you're not touching. I'm not going to be able to touch Michael Douglas. Probably can't touch Michael Douglas. I'm not going to touch Nicolas Cage at any of the shows. That's what it is. I'm not going.
Who wants to touch these people?
What is touching? What is touching? Carrying on. What is touching?
Chris Evans is perfectly reasonable. Don't touch the guy. If you want to take a photo up where it looks like you're touching, you put your arm around him, but you don't drape the palm over the shoulder.
Yeah.
It looks perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Who are these people that need to touch? Stop touching.
Bessels went to Rockin' with Dan. He went to NostalgiaCon Orlando. Had a positive experience with Dave Coulier. He's another one everyone seems to like. Dave Coulier, except Alanis Morissette.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I'm just running with it. And seemed to have a good time there.
He looked very thin.
Yeah?
Not Rockin' with Dan. Dave Coulier. I love you, Dan.
Poor Rockin' catching stray.
Rockin' caught a stray. What the hell?
You got a face of a KenCon. How you gonna look him in the eyes?
Dan, you're gonna sign my KenCon card for me, by the way.
The king of whatnot.
The king of whatnot. Look. To be fair, Rockin' with Dan, an amazing guy, like a really great guy, and a positive force in the hobby for good. And you know that is what the Little Rat represents.
There you go.
Accountability in the hobby. But Dave Coulier, I know he has been ill.
He's been ill, yeah.
He's been ill, and he looked thin, and it made me feel bad. Yeah.
We gotta fatten him up.
Yeah.
We gotta send him some.
Send him Portillo's, yeah. Some of that chocolate cake that you didn't want.
Richard Rose went to the Great Pottsville Car Show. I got Catherine Bach. Catherine Bach used to be around a lot more than she is now.
She's slowing down.
I remember at my first or second chiller, she was there. She did great business. She consistently was a draw in these parts. So, kind of interesting.
She's like the redneck Elvira. She would march out for all these years, and time marches on.
It does. He had a great conversation with her. Seemed to have a good time. Zach was at where did you go?
I didn't go anywhere. I sent stuff in.
That's right. You sent it. Yeah.
I was doing a lot of praising on the Facebook group.
I don't like it.
This
was
praising. Yeah. It's off gimmick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's who needs it? Look at for me, my baseline is you meet my expectations. You don't deserve praise for that. You know what I mean? Like, you meet my expectations. All right, good for you.
So Dom of Coach's Collectibles, who has been talked about on this podcast before, and you are you are getting livid.
Livid. I don't understand. Like, okay. Truthfully, I don't like the idea of vouching vendors because that it vests them with like my credibility. Like, I don't know this guy. Tomorrow he can decide to do something terrible. Like, I don't love the idea that people, he's great. I don't know.
Here's why I vouch. I vouch because there are so many terrible vendors, promoters, consignees, you name it, that get things wrong. And Lord knows, you've talked about my complaints with these people on the podcast multiple times. Dom and his company, Coach's Collectibles, not only does the baseline service providing, he really has an attention to detail, cares about the finished product, cares about the customer. And when I sent the send-ins that I sent to Dom were a result of me being screwed out of my Roger McDowell items by this crook in Virginia Beach who either stole my items or lost them, or they're in his wife's car, or who knows where they are at this point.
Hold on, he's not a crook. He paid you a fair market value.
Yeah, that's true. After I called him out publicly on Facebook, only then, in one of the bigger autograph groups, only then did he refund my money and apologize.
A reform crook.
Or maybe he's a reform crook. But Dom...
I love the story that he supposedly found your items and
then he ghosted me again! These idiots! They can't do anything right!
He could have just said nothing.
But Dom does. And that's why I think... The little rat persona, for all that we want to talk about it, right? It represents, at least in my view, accountability in the hobby. Getting these jamokes called out for poor service providing. And Coach's Collectibles doesn't do that. Dom saw the issue that I was having with my Roger McDowell items, and he offered to me, would you like to send them to me? I believe I will be seeing Roger McDowell by this date. I sent him the items. He, over, I believe, Facebook Messenger, tested out different blue paint pens for me, offered me, I believe, 3 different blues. Just such care and attention to detail and white glove service. And I sent in a label to ship the items back to me, and he used his own label because he preferred the security of his manner of shipping, because he felt it would make it back to me a little bit more safely. And I know you have a skeptical look on your face for people that can't see, but he was a little bit more comfortable with a certain type of UPS box and label than the generic label that I had sent in. And, he spent a few extra dollars of his own money to ship it back to me rather than provide my own label. And I don't want to advertise that too much because I don't want people to think they're going to get free shipping at a Dom. Customers, you need to pay for your own shipping. But he goes above and beyond, and I think he does deserve credit. Compared to the lack of accountability for some of these other vendors.
Like commercials over. I just want to get paid if someone's running a commercial. This is kind of fun. The Marcus went to the Major Wrestling Figure live podcast, the Dudley version, where he met the wonderful and charming and delightful Bubba Ray Dudley.
Oh, very genial.
Yeah. Very convivial he is, right?
Yeah. He's great at cocktail parties on the Upper West Side, I heard.
But he seemed to have a good experience, and apparently it was kind of a way to get Bubba to do specialty items on the cheap without heinous upcharges, which he kind of took advantage of getting figures done.
Yeah, I didn't go, but it was a good deal. I think it was a $200 ticket. You get the pro photo op with both of the Dudleys plus Spike Dudley, and you get 3 autographs, an item by each, and there were no restrictions on items. It sounds like he was charging extra for inscriptions. But $200 is a good price for a photo op, 3 autographs, and a ticket to a show. That's a good deal.
I'm not going to argue. Granted, it has to be a show you want to see, right?
Yeah, and chances are, if you're even aware of the show, you want to see it because it takes place in that major universe.
Yeah,
we know your feelings on the major podcast.
Yeah, it's just not my thing. It's whatever. But I do recognize they're big. They're big. And I just don't find them funny.
And what I think was cool also, they had like the broken table for the photo, which, I mean, they didn't really have to do that. Not every promoter does. Granted, we had the piñata for the Lucha House Party. I don't know if we get the flowers we deserve.
We definitely did.
I still have that piñata somewhere. Did we throw it out?
Yeah.
I think I might still have
honestly,
it.
I don't think you get the flowers you deserve for that garbage that you tossed out.
And what's funny is what we proved when buying that piñata was clearly they bought their piñata that they used on live television from Amazon, because we had the exact same piñata.
Yeah.
And I bought some cheap seller.
I don't know if they were buying the piñata or a production assistant.
Whatever it was. Somebody ordered a cheap piñata off
God
Amazon.
damn it, go buy a piñata!
Steve, Class 316, talked about going on airport runs and meeting people at airports. He definitely stirred some stuff up with people, complaining. There's general. We get the same things all the time. People don't like when people, meet people at airports. But the truth of it is, for a lot of people, airports are easier than hotels, or certainly easier than conventions. Because if someone doesn't get booked, they don't get booked. And that airports in a lot of ways provide guaranteed access, and if you can find someone's schedule, then you're in and out quickly. So, so what did he get on this?
He got Oba, he got Trick, he got a smiling Gunther. He did pretty well, all things considered.
All right. You have more.
His little rat got more things.
Oh, I got more? What did I do?
The National Sports Collectors Convention.
Oh, yeah, I didn't go to the National in Chicago this year because I was coming here for the Fan Expo. But yeah, I continue to get my starting lineup signed, and now have 87 signed starting lineup figures, all done beautifully in paint. I know, Dana, you're consistently jealous of this collection.
So you have 87 figures. Where are they?
Some are displayed in my office, and the rest are in organized bins by sport.
So when you had displayed certain figures at your office, how do you curate that display? Do you rotate them? Do you keep your best ones? Do you keep your not best ones? How do you do that?
Yeah, I tend to have 3 different themes that I play to. Right now is my most consistent, which is it's the debut set, the 1988 starting lineup, all the Mets from that year. And I have them all complete except Kevin McReynolds. Kevin McReynolds won't do an autograph signing. It's very frustrating. If I don't have those up, then I'll do kind of the really big stars. And that's when I work in some basketball guys. Like I have Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird. I put Joe Namath in there. Just like real iconic athletes. And then the third theme is just my whim. And I'll just rotate them. Yeah. But I didn't go, so I used one of their official send-ins, Accelerate Celebrity Services, run by this great guy, Donnie Dougherty. and he always does a really good job. And he gets them all done in the back room for me. One came back. I had requested it to be in blue Posca. Came back looking like Sharpie. You thought it was Sharpie, right?
Yeah.
And I said to him, "Hey, this is Sharpie. How do you want to handle this?" He says, "No, I'm telling you, it was the blue Posca." And he sent me a photo of it being signed by, it was Christian Laettner signing the starting lineup with the Posca. I was like,
so Posca failed you again?
And I went home. I got that picture when I was at work. I went home. I tested it on the bubble because I knew it would be easy to rub off. And sure enough, it was just like kind of I don't know if it was a dead Posca or just very watery, that it looked more like blue Sharpie marker than paint. But he always does a great job for me. And then right around the same time, I sent out David Robinson starting lineup to be signed at a private. And he doesn't do a lot of stuff. And he's a pretty iconic athlete. Dream Team, all that.
Yeah. What else we got? Chris Eastwood went to, I guess, another Anthony Anderson book signing.
Yeah, him and Cedric the Entertainer, they're traveling around. This one was, I think, in the Kansas, Missouri region. Pretty sure that's
What are your
your
thoughts on the Kansas, Missouri region, Dan?
Never been. I'm sure there's good barbecue.
Would you like to visit?
If there's combos to be had, why the hell not?
I feel like this trip might open some floodgates.
Interestingly, so every May in Kansas City, there's like a charity celebrity event, and it's sort of kind of like a con.
He's blowing hippos.
No, but we've never gone. Here's the problem. This year I wanted to go, and the date that it was on was a day that I was working in Kansas City, but I was working all day, and I couldn't make it. But like what's his name? Martin Starr from Freaks and Geeks.
Oh yeah,
he was there. It's good names were there, and I don't know anyone who went to this thing, but apparently it's pretty cool. And I would love to. I hope the dates align next year. If I can not really go out a day early and go there. I got to figure it out, but because I'll go to Kansas City once a year. I would love to. I am a huge Freaks and Geeks fan. I really want John Francis Daly to do a show locally. NYCC would be great. I think most of that cast is probably too big for cons, but some of them are definitely
Who's too big?
I think Linda Cardellini right now is probably too big.
I don't agree.
She's working too much. She's like 100 things going on at the same time.
If Chris Evans is doing a con, Linda Cardellini
it's different though. When I say too big, I don't mean he's a bigger star. I mean she's too active. How about that? When you're juggling 7 projects at once and you're doing them all at the same, you cannot do this. And she's a much more she's working constantly, So I just don't think it's on the table for her.
Yeah, I fear Cardellini's going to be one of those names that you just don't see.
No. And because she's also great in literally everything she does. She's I love her.
There's a reason she's always working.
Yeah, she's fantastic, right?
I think that the hardest will be Jason Segel.
What the hell happened to him?
So I think Seth Rogen is a pretty good candidate for a private.
The issue with Rogen is he makes so much money on the production side. Forget the acting side. He's loaded.
And he has Houseplant, which is his kind of weed-focused pottery brand, which is very successful as far as I understand. But I think that he has enough properties where he's a prime candidate for a private. I don't think Jason Segel is. Jason Segel kind of disappeared, doesn't have kind of that nerd repertoire that Seth Rogen has, that
he has
stoner
Muppets.
Repertoire. He has, that's the only thing. But How I Met Your Mother is kind of out of the zeitgeist now.
Yeah.
Even Forgetting Sarah Marshall, out of the zeitgeist.
I love Forgetting.
It's a great movie.
I love that movie. I love that movie so much. I mean, one of the problems is that Russell Brand just completely went off the deep end. And,
I know.
And I'm gonna be honest, I was a huge Russell Brand fan.
But at least he's the villain in that movie.
Right.
So it kind of works, But my point is, I don't know if Jason Segel is the kind of candidate for a private like a Seth Rogen is because of the kinds of properties that they have on their resume. So I think if you were to do a Freaks and Geeks piece, I think he's going to be the toughest, not Linda Cardellini.
What's her name? The other one, the girl who plays Kim. What's her name?
Oh yeah, Busy Phillips.
Busy Phillips. She's around, you know.
Well, she's also she's famously Michelle Williams' best friend. That they'll like go do red carpets together, you know, and she's like around New York.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
She lives in Brooklyn, I believe.
I did a rewatch of Freaks and Geeks again this month.
Oh, it's so good.
I think it's the best show ever.
Based on my James Franco failure.
No, I just love it. I love it, and it's like last time I watched it was like 10 or 15 years ago, and I was like, okay, back then I said this is the best show ever. But then you have that nagging doubt. Like, have I changed enough in life where maybe I won't look at it in the same way? No, it is the best show ever.
It might be.
It is the best. There is not a minute of wasted time on that show. Every minute is like extracting drama and pathos and humor. Every line lands. There's not a single line that doesn't land. What other show has that? Every line is perfect.
Probably season 4 of Seinfeld is
that's
like
one
that.
scene. I mean, you know, but I guess
season for season, they're close as far as pound for pound.
And I do think that Freaks and Geeks benefits from being a stillborn, more or less. It has one season under its belt, and
it's a mythic legacy.
Yes,
right? Because launching the careers of Judd Apatow and Paul Feig, and all these guys who went off to do like super super successful things. And look at this brilliant thing that they did early in their careers.
Right, there's that line by Apatow where he says, "Every success I've ever had in my career is just revenge for Freaks and Geeks getting canceled." Which is funny. He's probably like half kidding, but kind of not, you know? But like, it's a very, very special show, and I really want to do something with it. And I always avoided starting something because it's a daunting task. That is a ridiculously powerhouse cast.
And you can't get Joe Flaherty, who is such a key role in the show.
Yeah.
And so good in it. If you ever want to see Tom Wilson's eyes light up at a con, go to him and don't talk to him about Biff Tannen. Talk to him about being the gym teacher boyfriend.
He's so good on that show.
It's so much more nuanced of a performance than Biff. It's like it couldn't be a more different role.
That episode where he takes the boys go-karting, it breaks your heart.
Is that the same episode where Bill comes home, makes himself a sandwich, and watches Gary Shandling?
Yes.
That scene, which is just close-ups of Bill with the food stuck in his braces, is just so heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time.
Martin Starr is a genius on that show. It makes me crazy. I think like here's a kid. He's a teenager, and he's acting his ass off in every scene. Every minute he's acting his ass off. That kid. He is a very he never had the career that some of these other people had, but he's so freaking good. He's so smart. And everything he does. I would love for them to bring him out. But he's another one. What kind of business would he do? I don't even know.
Well, he's got Freaks and Geeks and Party Down and Silicon Valley. And those are pretty big properties. And yeah, he was 17 when he shot that show. He's in other Apatow-verse stuff, like Knocked Up.
Yeah. But a lot of that stuff, it holds up comedically. It didn't remain in the zeitgeist. Knocked Up when it came out was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, like Superbad.
Yes. But the difference is McLovin and Superbad still occupies a space in the culture. Knocked Up doesn't. No one talks
Gen Z talks about Superbad. They don't talk about Knocked Up.
They just gone. And that's so interesting because to me, Knocked Up is a better movie in pretty much every way. I love Superbad, but Knocked Up's a better movie.
Some of that might have to do with Michael Cera and Jonah Hill never having left. And Katherine Heigl kind of made a mess of her career.
Let me tell you something. She's so good. I don't care if she may be a jerk. She's so good. She's so good.
She's good in that movie.
Yeah, she's great. I love it. So anyway, I don't know if we got enough on this complete...
Dana, weigh in.
Ditto.
Have you seen Freaks and Geeks?
I don't think so.
Oh my God.
Why would you even ask that question? You know the answer to that question.
Listen, Listen, one day I'll watch all 8 episodes of the show that you guys are comparing to shows with like 80, 90, 100 episodes.
18 episodes, actually.
Oh, sorry, I forgot the one.
Well, no, I did say one of the reasons why you can consider it one of the best shows, if not the best show ever made, is because it died so quickly, right? Every minute. What show can you say every minute is perfect? It's that good.
If it had been renewed and it continues, it's hard to say if it would have continued quality.
How could you continue at that level?
It's the big L of TV, where, you put out like one real project, you get killed, and it's like, what were you going to be doing in 6 or 7?
Yeah, but I mean, look, the proof is in how many of the cast members became stars, and that was their first project.
I mean, listen, I'm an Apatow fan.
Yeah, I mean, he's arguably the biggest success of the bunch, right?
I think Freaks and Geeks is probably the one thing of his really that I haven't seen. The movies I've seen all of them.
But they're all good. And anyway, bring John Francis Daly to the Northeast is the theme.
Or the Midwest, where we're here.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
How about a trio photo op? John Francis Daly, Sam Levine, and Martin Starr. The Geeks. Right? You're in,
I'd
right?
pay $1,000 for it. I'm not even kidding.
That's a photo op I would pay for. I don't know if I'd pay that much, but...
Those three? Because, I mean... There's the scene. Okay, I'm talking about this. The scene, because I just saw it the other day, where where Bill and Sam are arguing and debating over whether they should tell Schreiber that Sam caught his dad having an affair, and they're like wrestling with this like thing, this hang over their head while they're trying to like play video games and watch movies, and so they just can't enjoy anything because of that. It's like. I don't know, and it's funny. You're laughing, and these kids are tortured the whole time. It's like it's wild. Anyway,
but it's content like that. Why the show didn't succeed in the first place?
In a way, well,
because kids don't want to watch a show about the past and subject matter like that, and people who were older didn't want to watch a show about high school.
Right.
So it didn't. That's why it got canceled.
But I also think. Came out at the wrong time. In 1999 or whatever it was not the right time for a show like that. It was too ahead of its time. I think it would do better now.
At least 10 years ahead of its time.
It would do better now.
Well, the reason it would do better now is because it can go on Netflix and it can find a home on streaming and the right people can find it.
Yeah.
But it feels like that trio, for a con, that's an attainable trio.
I don't know why they're not doing it. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why. Of the three, John Francis Daly had the biggest career because Bones was a huge hit, right? And yet the other two didn't have a huge career. Why is he doing cons and they aren't?
Martin Starr's done a lot. If you look at his filmography...
But he's not carrying anything.
He's not carrying anything.
John Francis Daly was the star of Bones. I mean, that's a network TV show,
he wasn't
right?
The star of Bones? What the hell are you talking about?
Yes, he was.
John Francis Daly?
Yes.
It was Boreanaz and
John Francis Daly's in every episode.
Not the star of Bones. There's like 6 people in every episode. It was all about Booth and Bones. That was
he's one of the stars. He's one of the marquees of Bones, right?
I don't think you can say he is the star.
No, I mean, he's one of the stars of a TV show that lasted a long time.
The stars are Bones and David Boreanaz, and he's right up there. But I think he's most successful for being a screenwriter.
That too. But
his career, he makes his bread as a writer, not an actor.
But like Levine didn't really. He's done bits and things here and there, and Martin Starr has been in, I would say, very supporting roles.
But in 1,000 things.
Yes. But the point is certainly not like he's not done enough where he shouldn't be doing cons. Like, he should be doing cons.
He should. Yes. He's perfect for them.
Yeah.
Because he has Spider-Man stuff too.
Yeah. It's killer for me. I looked him up recently. The only thing he does is that one Kansas City charity show. He does it every year. Every single year.
We're going.
The problem is it falls on a day when I have to work. And I can't not work that day. So it's frustrating for me anyway. I'm hoping the stars align next year. We'll see. What else we got? Oh, so anyway, Chris Eastwood got Anthony Anderson on that Scream poster.
That was a while. I don't know how we went from Anthony Anderson to this.
Freaks and Geeks. Josh met Bam So, the fans love Bam. It's just people who work with Bam don't love Bam.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, no. Did you guys watch the new Jackass movie or no? No, I haven't watched it. I intend to. I like Jackass for what it is, but I know that Bam was not invited to participate.
My favorite Bam thing is always the Hulk Hogan tweet that he wished he was still alive. Bam responded he was alive, and I bet he never hung out with Hulk, even though nothing mattered.
I know our good friend Others printed out an 8x10 of that tweet and had Bam sign it and had planned to get Hulkster to sign it.
The prick died.
Yeah, we really inconvenienced Others.
Well, first Alex Gonzalez might as well be dead, and then Hulk died.
But it actually makes it more ironic that Hulk died and couldn't sign the tweet.
Because
it really layers the irony of it, right? That's really funny. And then finally, Morzak Chiera, he just met Dana White, grabbing cheesesteaks in Philly.
Oh, you must have just added that to the outline 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, does that happen? But did he seek out Dana White, or this is a chance encounter?
I'm going to assume he sought him out, because it would be kind of weird if he didn't.
So is it weird? While I do appreciate that people get Dana White, to me, Dana White falls in that category of, like, the guy who started Fanatics, or the, what's his face? The guy, the Barstool guy, what's his name?
Portnoy.
Dave Portnoy.
Like, someone who I just have no interest. I would never want. I don't care about in any way. Like they're not a celebrity to me.
Well,
they're
I don't
something
super
else.
care because I don't really care about UFC. To me, I mean, how does he differ from Vince McMahon?
Yeah, that's the.
I mean, Vince was
comparison.
an on-screen character for decades.
Dana White's on screen. You see
He's not a character. He's the executive talking about a product.
But Vince wasn't arguably a character. I mean,
He was a commentator for decades.
Is that a character, though?
Yes. What do you mean, yes? He literally did not play his role, which was owner. He played this other role, which was commentator.
It's on-air personality. Whether or not you want to call it
promoting.
character.
That's the owner. He's promoting behind the microphone.
I don't think you believe what you're saying right now. It's so...
I understand what both of you are saying. I think that Vince McMahon is a good comparison.
To Dana White?
But I also in one of Vince's capacities, but not the capacity that you are talking about right now.
Which makes him someone who would care about meetings.
I think if you were to go off of your argument, Sean, the comparison is more apt to a known general manager of a baseball team or something like that, right?
Well, I mean, Steinbrenner back in the day or something like that, or an owner who was a media personality. I would have no interest in any of that.
Like Billy Bean is a pretty famous one, right? Like because of Moneyball and everything, right?
Sure.
So I think that it's similar to that. Like he is not a person who is famous for performing in the octagon on the ball field, but he is a person responsible for what takes place on it or in it. And I think that's kind of the close and a known entity of one of those backstage front office type people.
I mean, I get, but if we're like I would view Vince as very different from, say, Nick Khan. So I would want Vince. I have no interest in Nick Khan whatsoever. Or Ari Emanuel. I think it's very different.
I think things. You put a little bit more value on the performer rather than the business person.
Right, I don't care what.
And that's fine. That's a subjective thing. That's a preference that you have.
Yes.
But I also completely understand why Class wants to get a selfie with Bill Gates.
You do understand that, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. I don't get it.
I don't understand Class in every other way. But that way I do.
And a random thing, which I know you wouldn't have wanted. I remember years ago, I ran into former, I think current billionaire, hopefully for him, but former Nets owner Mikhail Prokhorov. Remember him?
Of course, yeah, the Russian oligarch.
Prokhorov was walking down the street. I asked him for a photo. He did it. And maybe 30 seconds later, Eric Trump is bouncing down the street, approaches me.
What street was this?
Central Park West.
Asshole Boulevard?
Eric Trump approaches me and says, what the hell's going on? What are all these people doing? So I explained to him about TV Week. So I was telling him about, I blew the hippo to Eric Trump. I told him what TV Week was. I asked him for a selfie after telling him this whole story. He's like, oh, sorry, I can't do it. Wouldn't do it. This was pre-elections, pre-campaign. He was just the apprentice's son, basically, and wouldn't do it. So Mikhail Prokhorov, nice guy. Eric Trump, dumbass.
What does that say about Russia-U.S. relations?
I don't know.
This is a wild one. This sparked a lot of discussion. Christopher Lambert. Okay, so we gotta discuss this now because Greg was giving me so much shit for it on.
Greg was mad.
He was
Greg
mad.
26. He
was
26,000. I think. This week.
I don't think he understands why it's funny. So I passed on. All right. So first of all, the story is that Christopher Lambert had some kind of medical incident at Steel City Con and had to be removed from the building for his own safety.
Have there been details that have come out?
No, there have not.
Okay.
And all I know is that they said they made an announcement. So he was removed on Saturday. They made the announcement he would return on Sunday. And at the last minute that he actually would not be returning on Sunday because he still wasn't feeling well. Beyond that, that's all we got. Now,
allegedly was carried out on a stretcher from the table, but
but there's
not
lots of
video
conflicting
there's
information
no
about
video or picture of any of it, which is impossible.
So, okay. Last week on this very program, I said I passed on Christopher Lambert at Chiller. You know what? My spending is a little light in Chicago. Maybe I'll get him in Chicago. That's all I said. That's it. This jerk over here to my right, when he gets removed from Steel City,
combo guy.
when he gets,
Sean is not listening to his T-shirt.
So when he gets removed from Steel City, Dana makes a joke that the reason why he was removed from Steel City and was possibly gonna die was because
he's definitely gonna die. It's a question of 10 years from now.
Was because I had entertained the idea of getting him this weekend. That's it. That's the joke. The joke is that because I put into the universe that I might get him, that in some way contributed to his removal for health reasons.
And that's why we were late to the Sharpie social today, because Dana insisted on getting Mr. T today.
Right.
There were delays that we'll talk about with Mr. T. Because what? Why, Dana?
He might die
by tomorrow.
Before tomorrow.
Listen, if Mr. T right now is clutching his Chicago Cubs logo on the ground somewhere, I'll be proven right.
So yeah, we were not making fun of Christopher Lambert's medical condition. We were making fun of the fact that I
caused it,
basically by entertaining the possibility of getting him.
No, I think Lambert is actually a pretty nice guy. For someone that seemed not the greatest of health, he was very attentive to the detail of the items. He seemed very nice.
Did any of us see him at the show today? I did not.
No, they announced that he canceled. It was announced on Facebook 3:30. And then
his signage was still up today.
I know, but they announced around 3:30 that, as much as he was looking forward to coming, at this point, he's probably looking forward to...
Maybe, is he Mitch McConnelly right now?
Looking forward to breathing without a tube. Sorry, Greg. I'm going to get a message about that one. I hope you get better real soon. I mean that. Don't let the laughter ruin the sincerity of what I just said. But yeah, and then epic photo ops today announced at 6 o'clock that Christopher Lambert is canceled. It's obviously. But,
I didn't hear all that. So he will not. So he was not here at all.
So you can't get him.
All right. Wasn't an option.
No one else can either now because of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then all right, and then something happened. I didn't see this story. I guess the Hardy Boys had to spend $1,700 on their own private transportation just to get to Big Lick Comic Con.
I think that was a bad decision on their part. They should have stayed home.
Listen, Jeff will draw anywhere in the world. That's a fact.
Can anyone draw at the Big Lick Comic Con?
Jeff will draw anywhere. Jeff is a very consistent drawer.
Even Zach Chiara hasn't gone to the Big Lick Comic Con. I don't know what it is.
All right, on to the announcements. So there's some big announcements that have happened this week. The first of which, Steel City Con has begun announcing its slate of guests for December. So it's only August, and they're announcing for December. I love me some early announcements.
It's Christmas in August.
It is. So first they announced Matt Lillard. At this point, whatever, he's Virgil. I don't care.
I should say Hanukkah in August.
Yeah.
Let's hope there are 7 more.
There you go. But the big announcement
8
here...
crazy ads.
The big announcement here is that J.K. Simmons will be headlining Steel City Con. Thoughts on J.K. Simmons headlining Steel City Con?
Someone I never expected. Someone I'm very excited about. Someone I think you may be, and you're entitled to do so, because I've certainly done so, but I think you may be putting him on a floor he's not quite on. You're putting him on the 18th floor, but he's on like the 16th floor in actuality. But it's a damn good name. It's a name that I think a lot of shows should have been after. Maybe they were. As usual, Steel City doing Steel City things. They bring someone out, the Oscar winner, Marvel name, racist, white supremacist on Oz. Like, he's really run the gamut, and I'm excited to meet him.
We were talking about some of his credits at the Sharpie Social earlier, and I made the point that he is, not only did he win the Oscar, that's not to be ignored. He's an Oscar winner.
Yes.
Best Supporting Actor in Whiplash, which is an iconic performance that's still talked about when he goes on talk shows and things.
It's a meme in Gen Alpha. You know that?
It is. Yeah. And we talked about him being in Juno. He's excellent as the father in Juno, which is a fun kind of like con-adjacent property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Juno is another one of those movies that, this is a great example of differentiating between like Knocked Up and Superbad, right? Juno remains as part of the cultural fabric.
Is it?
I
it should be, but
it still is. Yeah.
And I think a part of that is Elliot Page's transition.
Some of it. I mean, it's probably the best movie to ever confront teen pregnancy, in a real interesting way.
I mean, it's a small list, but yeah, that's probably
no,
true.
really.
Precious is on that list.
I mean, you can't think of two things more far apart from each other in
That's
terms of
the
how
point.
they.
That's the
point. Yeah, but I think Juno confronts it in a way. Juno confronts the topic in a way that's accessible, right? Precious is like almost inscrutable in how agonizing it is.
It's a hard watch.
It's a hard movie to watch.
But I think the overall point is the credits on this guy's resume.
You forget half the stuff that he did.
Because everyone's going to go to Steel City to get him to sign Spider-Man stuff. That's going to be 85% of the line is J. Jonah Jameson stuff from Spider-Man. But he has all these other amazing credits. And I was telling you earlier, I think Oz will also be a big part of that other 15%. But I remember seeing him, I saw him on Broadway in the 90s revival of Guys and Dolls, where Nathan Lane played Nathan Detroit. He was like one of the lesser known guys, Benny South Street. And he's like in the background of Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat. He's a musical theater guy. So just such an incredible breadth of career, and yeah, it's an incredible booking.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it interesting for me. I go, is he a biggest star, Chris Evans? No, but for me, when you're talking about,
I think in many circles he is.
In terms of the draw for cons or whatever. But for me, you're not getting a better booking than this for me. And so when I've been complaining for the past few months about Rhode Island or New York Comic Con and the kinds of people they're booking, and maybe I'm being selfish. I want to see promoters thinking in ways that get us to places like J.K. Simmons instead of places that get us to Matt Lillard. Of course, it's ironic that Steel City is booking them. That's why I used it simultaneously. I can't say enough. The booking of J.K. Simmons in December for Steel City makes me look that much more critically at New York Comic Con and its lineup.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. He's the voice of the yellow M&M. That's actually really fun. to like
you're
get.
gonna have an M&M action figure of some sort.
There's a million M&M action figures, a million of them.
That's actually really fun. I bet people will bring him like when the M&Ms come in the little box,
Sure,
kind of like the McDonald's apple pie box. I bet people bring the yellow M&Ms for him to sign.
Are you gonna find a yellow M&M rookie figure?
I have to. In fact, keep talking. Let me go.
And let me just say, the one thing I'm not thrilled about with Steel City is that list that came out, which I know that list is only about a few names, but those few names tell a pretty strong story. You have Matt Lillard, you had what the hell's his name, Laz Alonso from the Boys.
Those are the Boys. And
you know they're going with a Scream Boys reunion, and it's like, after Dallas, I'm going to have all the boys that I need, and I've never watched an episode, so that's really sick. But it's true, and Scream I'm good on. There's two big reunions I'm not going to need. That's a lot of real estate that's going to be not needed for us.
I agree. It's tough. That's the first one.
I don't know.
I think there's so many. So you got to find the rookie. The rookie could be something like a Hallmark ornament or something like that. You probably have to go to the early '90s.
But I need the J.K. Simmons depiction of the yellow M&M.
That's complicated.
Yeah.
Do you know when he started?
I'm
You're
gonna find out.
All right. I'm curious.
You got to put ChatGPT on this one. When did he start?
Is there a Funko Pop of a yellow M&M?
I don't do Funko, so I don't know.
I'm asking. Can you find out?
Find out yourself.
I'm managing. I'm manning the control board here.
Let's see. I'll
All
find
right.
out.
Let's move on. Rhode Island Comic Con continues to violently and aggressively shit the bed on its bookings. They added Andy Field from Five Nights at Freddy's. That's analogous to J.K. No, that's not fair. But they also added Ryder Strong and Will Friedle. So those guys are doing another run. They've done many before, and they've also added Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell is a good booking,
and David Ramsey now.
Who's
from
that?
Arrow.
What's that? Oh. He's better. He hasn't been around as much. But Amell was around forever, all the time during the Heroes and Villains Con era. He hasn't been around as much. He's a good ad. He'll do well. I mean, he's not as relevant as he was, but he'll still do well. It's just not good for us. Not good for me.
I didn't want any of them, but I was arguing, just to be objective, that Ryder, Will, and Danielle collectively would be a headline act on the card that would draw people in.
The issue is Danielle hasn't been booked.
Danielle hasn't been booked. Ben Savage still isn't taking any of their calls. And you're dealing with an Eric and Sean group op. Is anyone clamoring for that one? I don't think so.
I mean, Danielle will probably, judging by the fact that they do everything together, she'll probably get in on
If she
this.
gets added, well, it's good, I suppose. I don't need it.
Just not for us.
Yeah. With these two, it's just upper mid-card names, which is all the show has, really. Upper mid-card stuff, and Michael Douglas.
Sci-Fi Valley Con in Altoona added Robin Lord Taylor from Gotham. He had his moment. I mean, kind of fell off a little bit. And Chris Chalk, also from Gotham, and Welcome Maderi. So, in a way, if I'm getting dragged to Altoona, at least I can get Chris Chalk. I had to miss him because I had to miss Monster Mania for Chicago here, so it'll be nice to get him. New York Comic Con added Melissa Benoist. So if you're one of those people who traveled all the way to Utah to get her, sorry you wasted your money and your time. I watched that Supergirl movie. She's not the Supergirl movie though.
No,
it's a different actor.
Like
I never watched the Supergirl show. I don't know why they're treating this announcement like she's a headliner. She's not a headliner.
She didn't draw like one in Pittsburgh when I got her.
No, she's not a headliner. I don't know if you saw, they were hyping up the fact that the Matt Smith and Melissa Benoist stuff goes on sale this week. As if anyone is clamoring for her. Matt Smith will do great. I mean, you didn't put that on here.
No.
Matt Smith was added. He's a massive draw. But again, that's a repeat because he just did this con 2 years ago.
I need him to do a private with someone because I want to start a House of the Dragon piece.
You just don't want to wait in line?
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I've met him twice now. I have 2 ops. If I could just get an 11x17 from like a Twin City Comics or something like that, I'd be more than satisfied.
Scaricon, that's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
They added Justin Long. Why isn't Justin Long doing Northeast cons? Drag Me to Hell is one of my favorite fun little movies. A Sam Raimi special. Linder, have you seen Drag Me to Hell?
I have seen Drag Me to Hell.
It's a great movie. I love it. I love Raimi style, horror comedy-ish kind of things. Have you seen Drag Me to Hell?
I have.
It's legitimately scary, though.
Right, but it's also like these comedic elements to it,
Yeah.
But it's kind of, that's what Raimi is good at.
I would love a dual photo op with Justin Long and John Hodgman, the Mac and the PC.
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be funny. I don't know why he's doing this con in Florida. I mean, good, God bless, but let's get him up here. Scaradise, the other show in Florida, they booked Gina Phillips from Jeepers Creepers. I don't know who that is.
She's the female lead in Jeepers Creepers.
I'm skipping this because we're here. Cincinnati Comic Expo, Terrence Howard, who we didn't even realize was booked, has canceled his appearance. It would be nice to see Terrence Howard at a con,
Yeah, I'm a Terrence Howard guy. Empire had its moment.
I'll tell you, I have never seen a property cool off that quickly in my life. Because it was red hot with Cookie and everything. She was a part of it. And all of a sudden, because of what's this fee? Jussie Smollett, right? I think that's why the show just fizzled completely.
Largely. I think it was fizzling a little bit already.
But I was way into Empire. I loved Empire, and then it just disappeared so fast. And he's great. Terrence Howard's a great actor, so it would hopefully get him out somewhere besides Cincinnati Comic Expo, which is not even having him. Fanfinity Expo added Curtis Armstrong from Revenge of the Nerds, so they're continuing to add people, and that's it.
And Kendra Wilkinson as well.
Oh,
I don't know why it made it was like a new bullet. But
what's she? Who is she?
The Girls Next Door. Like
that's that Playboy reality show.
Yeah.
Didn't she? Oh, yeah. She used to get booked by Blaustein.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was one of Blaustein's girls. It was her and the other one. I forget her name, but she was the one who sued Hugh Hefner.
I just picture Blaustein and like the Kramer, like Magic Dream Code, the way you're describing this.
All right, we had another Wicked Ink Wednesday this week. Andrew completed his dual-signed Frasier photo with Kelsey Grammer and David Hyde Pierce. Greg 2600.
Your favorite.
He added Ali Sheedy and John Badham to his War Games poster. And
I'm very happy for Greg.
You are?
Yeah.
Why?
Sounds like a nice piece.
We saw it. I mean, if you looked at the thread, you could see
it. You can't see it.
I know I can.
Oh, you can. That's right. That's why that was the joke. It sounds like it. I got it now.
But Greg, in some groups, blocking an administrator is grounds to be banned.
It is. It is
about to ban the little rat.
Go ahead
right now.
I'm very happy for you, Greg.
And then others had has a Sting and Sting dual sign. I actually didn't see this, so I must have not have clicked all the way down on this thread. But this sounds very interesting to me. A piece signed by Sting, like the musician Sting, and also Sting, the wrestler. It sounds neat,
but not the Sting, the Paul Newman movie.
No, that would be funny if they were dressed in like the hat and the trench coat, like the movie poster.
He really lives for those like weird like 8x10s. It would be like Muhammad Ali with like Elmo or something. Like he loves that stuff. He really does.
I appreciate a certain like quirky sensibility.
See, this is how I know Vinny's full of crap. He goes...
Who?
Vinny.
Who?
Oh, other. Sorry. This is how I know he's full of crap. Someone that has such unique prints like that. You don't want everyone... So if I went and I got that and we sold them on the website for $30, Sting and Sting. Everyone has a Sting and Sting dual signed up. I mean, a print. Would he be happy? I don't think so. He doesn't just pull a print off the table.
Not everyone has this desire in their heart to pull the people down like you do.
that's what he does by getting these cool items.
That is such an upside down way of looking at the world. Can't you just say he's celebrating a unique sensibility?
No.
No, but you're right. Vin does do a lot of stuff like that. He's got others.
Yes.
Do a lot of stuff like that. He's got the Family Matters thing with the Bushwhackers. He's got Boy Meets World with
Lucas and Mark.
Mankind.
Mankind.
Wait, did he get it complete before they killed him? Butch?
What?
Before Lucas and Marcus killed Butch, did he get Butch on it?
I don't know. I think no.
Yeah.
I think Lucas has that. Lucas has the complete one.
Was it worth killing Butch over?
Lucas did it the right way. You get Butch,
you
you kill him, and no one else gets him. That's my way. That's my way of doing it.
That is the ultimate way.
Good job, Lucas. I support.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to get your combo and then murder the guest.
I mean, you have to murder them. You could just cause their death through untimely means.
Yeah. You just beat them down to such a frail degree that they have no choice but to perish.
Inhaling too much paint fumes after being on the plane from New Zealand. That's how you do it.
That's really the greatest story ever, honestly.
I just wish I was a part of it. I would get like a t-shirt. I killed Butch. I would just walk around with it.
We had a photo with Friday, as we often do. That was today. Matt Balk continues to post absolutely insane shots. This is the one he got with Will Ferrell when he and his buddies snuck onto the semi-pro set, which is it was an awesome story. I encourage you, if you haven't read it, I encourage you to go to that thread and click on the comment and read it. It's a really cool story.
Sneaking onto sets is not as easy as it sounds.
No, I've never done it.
I tried once, didn't work.
Ken repped his marked out radio shirt in a photo op with Scott Bakula. Why isn't Scott Bakula doing Northeast cons? He hasn't come around the Northeast. I would like to see him around. So that was great, and thank you, Ken, for repping the radio shirt. And then finally, Mr. Ira. He posted a shot with Shawn Michaels where Shawn wasn't, looking both ways at the bridge of his nose. He looked human and young, and he wasn't bald, and it's actually a great Shawn shot.
I also pop for when someone like when we go on a tangent about something that makes no sense to what we're talking about. And then someone posts the photos for Photo with Friday, it shows that they're really listening. So if Marcus or Lucas posts the Bushwhacker, or someone posts something from Freaks and Geeks, I'll probably pick that. 'Cause I like when someone's listening to the Easter eggs.
Have I mentioned recently? I feel like I haven't. That Shawn Michaels is the most overrated professional wrestler in history.
All right.
Now you're being like Class 316, bragging about flight itineraries. You're trying to get a rise.
He's the most overrated. He's not as good as people say he is.
He's the most naturally gifted talent.
That's straight out of Jim Ross's asshole. That means nothing. I mean, that's those nonsense things. Idiots.
What did you get that from an old Raw script from 2001 or something?
This is ridiculous.
By the way, did you see the Jim Ross post this week?
He was like...
Hold on.
It was an AI thing. Wasn't it an AI thing? He had surgery or something? But it looked like the picture looked AI. By the way, have you noticed that there's been a lot of stuff where Devon Dudley has come out and talked about Jim Ross's overt racism? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Now you don't buy it?
I that's not what I said.
I was like, Devon seems very credible when talking about these stories. So he doesn't seem like the kind of person who would make that up. Devon seems like a reasonable guy, always has. So these stories are not.
I believe
Jim Ross.
For what it's worth, I believe them. I mean, Bully Ray has come out and said basically everything that Devon says he witnessed.
But forget about that. No one says bad things about Devon Dudley. No one does. He's a generally very well liked, very well trusted individual.
But also, Bully Ray and Devon are not running around making accusations about people. I don't think they've said anything about anyone else. So this is not their MO, period. So
I found the Jim Ross tweet that I was referencing earlier. He posted this 4 days ago, and I want to be considerate and sensitive, but he says the following. Thanks for the outpouring of support regarding my upcoming brain surgery. A hole will be drilled in my skull, and a small tube will be inserted, reach into my stomach to better manage/drain excess brain fluid. I'm optimistic. Thanks to all. Cowboy emoji.
Wait, what?
And I was sent this tweet by a friend of mine, and I responded, "As God is my witness, a hole will be drilled in his skull."
I mean,
I think Jim Ross should go back to using Twitter for just liking thirst traps and being a pervert.
well, that's how he connected with Missy Hyatt.
Yeah. We don't need these updates from Jim
Anyway,
Ross.
I mentioned the Jim Ross thing with Shawn Michaels, but yeah, I mean, because I know there were lots of Shawn Michaels posts in the past week. He was perfectly reasonable, a perfectly adequate performer, but like you give me Shawn versus Brett, I take Brett 10 times out of 10. That's just a reality for me. Anyway, if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason, please email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join and participate in the Marked Out autograph collecting community on Facebook. All links are in the show notes on Facebook and Substack. If you want your event, product, or brand advertised on episodes of Marked Out Radio, reach out to us today at markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com. Get your Marked Out Radio merch, like Ken, by the way, on our ProWrestlingTees.com shop. See the link below or check out the pinned post on Facebook.
All three of us sporting one right now.
We are different ones, no less.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually have a bunch coming in the mail, the new batch. I have the Terminator ones, the Chiropractor Club ones. I have my own Little Rat one coming as well.
Too.
And the was it Choose Your Fate, the Sharpie or Posca one?
You know, if we put our fists together Shield style right now, we would summon Class 316.
Well, if you go in, look in a mirror and say photo op, photo op, photo op 3 times.
He's like the Candyman.
So now I have to bleep the F word.
Sorry.
So that was at 1 minute and 1 hour, 38 minutes, 38.5 minutes. Can someone just take a note?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll write it down.
So if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and leave a rating, and or a review. And I'm not explaining how to do that anymore because I've done that 110 times in a row. I'm tired of saying it.
Do we think Class is more like the Candyman or Beetlejuice?
Bloody Mary, actually, is what I would say. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about. I was going to say Steel City Con. Let's talk about Fan Expo Chicago. So we've been here a day. Today was a long day, even though the con started at 4 p.m. It felt like a really long day. Let's hear our takeaways, general impressions of the show overall. I know, Linder, this morning, it wasn't in the morning, it was around 3 o'clock. You sent a group text to the two of us and you said something to the effect of, "I hate this show already." And I responded, "The show doesn't start for an hour, so what are you complaining about?"
But gates had opened.
They had.
Gates opened for us with the 3-day passes. You could get in at 2.
It's true.
And there were some guests at tables shortly after 2.
Pretty much Paulie Shore was the only one, I think, at his table.
Worked out well for me.
Yeah.
Paulie was down there drinking since last night.
I know he was filming stuff for like his IG. I haven't checked if I'm on Paulie Shore's IG story. I should do that. But yeah, there were, when I arrived at the convention, so my company has an office downtown. I work downtown today and I spent a little bit more time there than I would have liked. And got to the convention center around 3. I believe you guys got there at gates opening at around 2.
We got there like 1:30. It was I gotta be honest, it was the smoothest con entry I've ever experienced.
So when I got there, the gates had already opened. So you didn't have the people with the passes for 2 waiting to get in. They were already inside. But what you did have is people who didn't have that access kind of milling about, blocking areas from people who did have that access.
Would you say they were using their ample bodies as sort of stanchions to blocking your path?
There were some health concerns about these people. But it was the standard con demographic, I would say.
Yeah.
Fat people.
Yeah.
And
just ruined the joke, yeah.
But it's not just it's not just the physicality.
No, I know. Right?
It is their lack of self-awareness. I mean, we talk a lot about New Yorkers being infuriated by tourists who do not understand that the sidewalks are our highways. So when you walk in New York, if you are walking slowly on the left-hand side, you should be thrown in prison.
Yes. And
there was similar behavior on display in the entry areas to the Donald Stevens Convention
I think
Center.
in general, it's very interesting because like there are people who lack body awareness, right? Like when you position your body in such a way that you might inhibit other people's movement around you or alongside you. Like I try to really tend to be hyper aware. Am I blocking someone? Am I moving too slowly? And when you're at these places, there are people who just have no idea the kind of carnage they cause simply by existing because they position their bodies in a way that without any regard for the people around them. That's kind of what.
And carnage in this context means me specifically being mildly inconvenienced.
Yes, to me that's carnage. Yeah, everything the way I speak. That's how it goes.
Did you hear what Dana said?
What?
That's fair.
He goes, "That's fair."
So we had a fantastic. I mean, I can't stress enough how easy it was for us to get to the floor. Am I overstating this?
You skipped some stuff.
What?
Well, first we got off the plane.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I never know how much you want me to share about this stuff because, like, not all of it is entirely flattering.
To who? Well, I'm flattered by all of it.
So when I think this puts it into perspective. When I arrived at the con floor, I got my autograph from Pauly Shore, and then I waltzed over to you guys who were in an autograph line waiting for a guest to show up. What is the first question that I asked you, Sean, when I approached you?
I forget now. Oh, okay. How did Dana behave on the plane?
Yes!
Like he was going to be flapping his arms or something going crazy on the plane.
I did tell him today what I wanted to do, but I don't want to get on a no-fly list.
Where's this going?
You've heard of night terrors. I wanted to have something called flight terrors. Because he's never been next to me on a plane before. If I would have started like screaming and going berserk with
Alright, I'm going to say this. For those people who have no idea about flying etiquette. So, we were in the very, very last row of the plane. The very last row. Whatever. We didn't have check bag. Well, let's get to that in a second. Alright, let me rewind a second. So, I booked these flights, a few months ago. As the first thing I did when I booked my flight, I input my American Airlines Advantage number, which automatically jumps my boarding group. I don't have any special status with American. It jumped my boarding group from 9 to 6. And if you're an Advantage member, you're group 6. That's how it works. And so I guess perhaps, clearly, erroneously, assumed that he was going to do the same thing and input his American.
Why would I know this?
This is just something that people know
because it's common sense.
It's very common. It's very common, and I just didn't make the connection that you would. I just made the assumption.
And I also figured if you purchased it and you have all these accounts, that was it.
But that assumption is based on nothing other than
how are you supposed to know this? Why do you wash fruit before you eat it? You just know that's what you do.
So in any case, we get out, we get into the air and the line to get in, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're group 6. And he goes, no, I'm group 9. I'm like, what? Why are you group 9? and I looked in the app. I was like, you didn't put your freaking number in, and I was like, oh my god. So why does this matter? Well, because we were trying to travel with some degree of agility here. Move quickly and efficiently and not check any bags. Well, of course, they run out of bin space in the plane between groups 6 and 9, and then they have to check Dana's bag. So is this a catastrophe? No, it ought not be a catastrophe, but for the fact that we were planning to eat lunch at the airport, and you can only eat lunch inside the terminal in the place we wanted to go, but you have to leave the terminal to get the bag. So we made the decision to, you know what, let it rock, let the bag sit for 45 minutes. What's the worst that happens? Dana's underwear gets stolen.
And all my items I have to get signed at the con.
And all of his con items. So I guess that would be, in theory, a bad thing. So we ended up eating at, what's the name of the place?
Billy Goat's Tavern.
Yeah, the one in the airport. It was fine. Although...
The original one in Chicago in downtown Chicago is a famous and iconic establishment that is known for inspiring the famous John Belushi cheeseburger sketch.
So what struck me about my burger, I got the one that had the jalapenos on. Now, I'm used to ordering jalapeno burgers all the time. Usually you get basically sliced pickled jalapenos. They sliced the jalapeno in half and just stuck a big lumpy half jalapeno right in the middle of the burger, which is just not appetizing. The texture was weird. Maybe the taste was fine. It was fine overall. It was just not what I was expecting with the jalapeno. But other than that, it was fine. We had to go. We had to go from Terminal 3 to Terminal 1 to eat at this place. Then we had to go all the way back to Terminal 3 to go to the baggage claim where your baggage was sitting.
Yes.
So.
You skipped the best part. I got photo ops with the Home Alone terminal. It was pretty cool. Definitely a highlight of my trip so far. I'm not joking.
I believe that was from Home Alone 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You should have left him in the airport like Kevin McAllister.
There was a moment. So then we get the morning was smooth. We get to the back to the story of getting on the plane. So where was I going with this on the plane now? So we're in the very last row of the plane. So I am in the middle seat. Dana is in the window seat. Would you believe me if I told you the first thing he did when he got on the plane was open the window and left it open the whole time?
Oh, that's psychotic behavior.
I want to see what's going on down there.
It's totally...
No. See, people who do that are neophytes.
And they're reviled by everyone else on the plane. It's socially unacceptable behavior.
You're bothering hundreds of people when you do that.
You raise the temperature of the aircraft.
I feel like I kind of do that every week on the podcast.
I might have an old tweet about this. No, that's psychotic behavior. This is the behavior of a not well individual.
I'm aware.
So I didn't have the heart to...
It is perfectly fine to have the window shade up, taxiing, and for takeoff. Once that plane is at cruising altitude, that thing goes frickin' down. I don't want you to have to mark another bleep, so
I mean, I would say there is a caveat, which is if you're passing over an interesting landmark, you can briefly open it and then close it.
No, because if you're at cruising altitude, you can't see anything anyway. You're above the clouds.
I mean, when you're in descent
I like
mode.
seeing above the clouds.
Yeah, anything that once you are in a descent, then it is okay to
at cruising
open
altitude. You never leave it open. It's never.
For me personally, I always leave it closed.
Yes, me too.
Because I've been on enough airplanes, I don't need to see any of this nonsense anymore. But for someone who wants to experience the takeoff and landing, fine, you're allowed to do that. Any other point in the flight, that thing is closed.
I'll tell you what, if I have the window seat next time, I'm opening it. I'm undeterred.
Well, you better look into that no-fly list again.
So we catch one of the perks of this particular hotel was that there is a free shuttle from the airport, which was nice. I mean, it saved a little bit of money that way and time. We get here, our room is ready early. We get to check in, quite lovely. And then our process for getting into the con was about as smooth as could possibly be. We get to scan the little thingy. They give us the badge. We grab a free lanyard. We have to activate the badge, which is mildly annoying. We get into a holding area, which is rather small. I did have to fend off small talk from the security guard.
Oh, yeah. I wished I had my metas on. I would have recorded that.
He overheard us chatting about travel, actually, and work. And he just started chiming in, and he just kept going. He kept going and going and going.
He also had almost as much body odor as our Uber driver.
Oh, the Uber driver with body odor was difficult.
Yeah.
That was challenging for me. And that was coming back from Portillo's. Anyway, we get to the con, and I jump right into Michael Johnston's line, the dude from Obsession. I had the belief that he would be the sleeper hit guest of this con. This is his first ever con. Obsession is a massive, massive thing right now. It's really kind of captured a cultural moment. He's like the universally despised villain of this movie. So the con started at 4:00. He was down by 4:15. This is a thing about Fan Expo that's troubling. In these lines, they taped off like 6 columns to line up for Michael Johnston. None of those columns were labeled VIP. In fact, there was basically nowhere for VIPs to go. And so what they were encouraging VIPs to do was just, as they showed up to the table, just walk up. And so there were those of us who were waiting in line for a long time. VIPs would walk up and then just go right ahead. And that's typically not the way these things are run. I know at Steel City, for example, or at Rhode Island or wherever, it's like they'll do 2 VIPs to 1 GA or something like that. So the VIPs will get through faster, but they at least have they get some GAs through the line. They went through a bunch of VIPs before they hit me, and I was at the front of the line. I just was able to, finally one VIP took mercy on me and insisted that I go in front of her. Other than that, I would probably still be waiting in that line. That's how many VIPs showed up.
While you were in the line, I sort of had FOMO. I didn't print for Michael Johnston, and in that moment, because the price was fair. There were no upcharges. It was basically straight up what it was on the website.
It was 60 on the website. It said 60 autograph, 70 photo op. That was actually incorrect. It was 60 autograph, 40 photo op, no combo. So it was 100 for the combo.
Yeah, so that was a really good price. So I didn't print because with Navarette, what's her first name? Indy Navarette. Who the hell knows what she's going to do? Who
was just announced today? Did you see her news today?
What, for X-Men or something?
Yeah. She's the new Rogue.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I'm never going to get this poster done at that rate.
Yeah, so that was my logic. But then seeing how cheap he was, I'm like, honestly, I could probably get it signed and flip it. So I went and searched on the show floor of a print, which is, I hate people that do that. How do you show up without a print? But I guess I am that person now. So I found there was one vendor with prints, really. And of course, the one vendor with prints had one Obsession print. Because it's the hottest horror movie in years. The male lead is at this con, the only con he's ever done. You're at this con. You want to make money selling prints. So what do? You bring one Obsession print that is tattered and stained with coffee and all these things. And I honestly considered buying it until I finally showed you a good enough picture of it. And you're like, that's awful. Which is what I needed to hear. I knew it was. But at the same time, it was the only way for me to not have FOMO. There was nothing else. There was a horrific art print.
The art print was somehow worse than that poster.
Yeah, the artist, assuming it's probably all computer AI generated crap, but if someone actually put their blood, sweat, and tears,
they should be euthanized.
They should go instead of chopping their ear off,
chop their fingers off so they can't inflict their art on anyone else.
Head
no, they were fingers, so they can live. They just can't inflict their art.
I don't recommend living if that's what you make. But I got nothing. That's cool. So then I went upstairs while you were getting all that stuff done that you talked about. I went upstairs to get PJ Souls from Halloween. I don't know how I don't have her. And spoiler alert, I still don't. I waited on that damn line and the VIPs kept coming. And I'm definitely a hypocrite, the same way I am when I'm driving through the city or walking through the city. When I'm the pedestrian, I get pissed at the cars that want to force their way through the intersection. And when I'm in the car, I get pissed at the pedestrians that don't yield to my entitlement that I should go before them. I own my sense of being just self-centered, and that's what I was here. But it's like like you said, you're standing there. And it's like 12 VIPs go who tell life stories, and they'll throw a bone and let like one of you go, one GA go, and it starts up again. I was on that line for like an hour. And I'm finally getting close to the end, and I realize it's time for Frank Welker. So I gotta run down there. I have 10 minutes. So I leave. And I go down to Frank Welker, and of course the entire server crashes, and I stood in the photo op area for an hour doing nothing. Literally nothing. And I could have gotten PJ Souls. I could have probably made out with John Carpenter. I could have done anything I wanted in all that time.
Or at least his neck jiggle.
True. I mean,
it looks very soft.
Yes. So then
he moisturizes.
So after leaving PJ Souls, I'm stuck on the photo op line. At that point, you did what? You were playing.
But wait, Dana. I don't want you to bury the lead because you're glossing over it. You mentioned the server going down. This was the story of the con.
Right. So I was talking to one of the people who work for Leap a little bit, trying to figure out what was going on. Their entire back end server structure, how they take their pictures, store their pictures, transport their pictures. The whole server went down for over an hour at this con, which threw the entire photo op schedule into disarray. Because every minute where there are no photo ops taking place, the entire operation falls behind. And they did something really weird with photo ops this year. They were co-located. So there were pro photo ops upstairs and there were pro photo ops downstairs. And I suspect, and Dana, you thought this also, that contributed to the issue.
Yeah.
And Dana's frustration became my pleasure. Because while Dana was waiting for Frank Welker to begin his pro photo ops, I was slowly making my way through Frank Welker's autograph line. And I knew that, oh, great, I'm this many people back. He's got to leave for the photo op. I'm never going to make it. He's going to go to the op, and then he'll come back 30 minutes later or whatever. Maybe even goes on break. Who knows? I'm never going to get Frank Welker's autograph.
Was he doing table ops?
But no, I don't think so, no.
Okay.
And when the server went down and he wasn't pulled for photo ops,
he kept working.
We all realized, oh, he's just going to sit here until they get the server back up. And lo and behold, I got my autograph well before that.
Yeah, I mean, so I had moseyed up. So we received an email clarifying that certain celebrities were upstairs for the photo ops and certain were down. And so I had purchased a John Rhys Davies photo op. And he was originally supposed to be downstairs, and then we got in the email it said he was upstairs. So I went up around the time of the photo op upstairs, and the guy who I was talking to, the Leap employee, was like, nope, he's downstairs. And I showed him the email saying he was upstairs, and I was like, I don't even understand what's going on. Nothing's happening anywhere. Our whole system is down. Come back in a half hour. So I used that opportunity, and you had finished, Zach, with Welker at about that time. That's when we went over to Jamie Presley.
Right.
And so when I walked up to her table, she was complaining to her handler that they were supposed to call her for the photo op and then never did. So she's like, I'll just keep doing this until they call me.
Yeah, it worked out for us.
Yeah, it worked out because there was no line. We walked right up. And then she was great. She did exactly what she fulfilled every request. She was also kind of buff. Did you notice that?
I did not, no.
Yeah, because she did the handshake thing, and she had a pretty grippy handshake.
I did not touch her. Oh. I don't need to touch these people.
She stuck her hand out. She gave me a handshake, and I was like, damn. I was kind of surprised because her whole thing was like she was like pretty petite, but she was buff. I was surprised by it. Anyway, And so she signed my can't hardly wait lobby card, which made you a little bit envious.
What? Well, when
you were a little bit covetous.
When we had gone to Monster Mania and you got Ethan Embry on it, before that convention, I had looked for can't hardly wait lobby cards, and you probably bought them like the day before I looked on eBay.
Yeah, I bought the only set. So
and yeah, there were no others. So, I resorted to a press photo for Ethan Embry, and I'm still working my way through that cast. But I didn't get anything signed for Jamie Presley for myself. I got an item signed from marked out autograph collecting community member Robert Quinn. So
he got a beer advertisement.
It was a Bud Light ad from, I guess, Jamie Presley's modeling days, where it was a Halloween themed. So
is that why you got it signed in orange Posca?
That was Mr. Quinn's request. So Bobby, there you go. And it looks nice. I hope he's happy with it.
It looked great.
Yeah.
And so then we had a little bit of a debate between us because the only authentication company at this show, JSA, is not present.
At all the Fan Expos.
I thought JSA is at some of them. No, am I wrong? Fan
Expo has the exclusive agreement. Remember, I was talking a little bit with the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Fan Expo has, or whatever the parent company is, has an agreement with Official Pix that they are the exclusive authentication provider and also handle the send-ins.
So when that was the only option. So when I went to get my Michael Johnston Obsession poster authenticated by Official Pix, you got annoyed.
Well, I wouldn't say I got annoyed.
You said I don't use any of these garbage, whatever these forget how you exactly put it, but
no offense to Official Pix, but they're worthless and should be removed from the face of the planet. But no offense. No, I wasn't annoyed. I was surprised knowing you in some ways. I don't know if you're gonna like me saying this or not, but I think you in some ways are particular about things in similar ways that I am, and I would not get an Official Pix sticker.
Did you understand in context why I did?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure that if. I understand why you chose to do it. I don't know if I would make that same choice.
That's fair, because I was teetering, to be honest.
I might end up doing it tomorrow. Seeing you get it, honestly, you're an influencer. I have been influenced, and I might end up getting the action figure that Kurt Russell is signing for me.
Official Pix has been around a long time. A long time.
But they are not... I mean, you have discussed on this very podcast, there was an episode about the Big Three.
Right.
And they are not one of the Big Three.
They're not.
And we have talked on this podcast about the Monster Mania Fakakta authentication.
Yeah, we have.
And Official Pix seems slightly adjacent to the Monster Mania and Steel City.
It's better, but not a ton.
Yeah.
Well, my view of it was... if they're going to be the official partner of Fan Expo, and Fan Expo is blowing up like it is, they're going to have market saturation on some level, right? They're going to continue to put stuff out there. It's tricky, though, because they're not taking send-ins, they're not doing bulks, they're not doing the kind of things that are making JSA and PSA and Beckett's databases swell up, right? They're just doing cons. But anyway, I got that Obsession poster authenticated after I got Jamie Presley on my lobby card, and then we just headed back to the photo op area. At some point, I went back upstairs to just figure out what the heck was going on with John Rhys Davies, at which point the guy who I had spoken to earlier profusely apologized to me as they were actually lining him up here, and the reason why I didn't have that information earlier was because our server was down, and so he was blaming the server. And so I did get in line for John Rhys Davies, and I eventually got the op with him.
It looked great.
It did. Well, he loved... I'm wearing my Respect the Combo Gods Marked Out Radio shirt. John Rhys Davies had no idea what it was, but he was theatrically pointing at my shirt in the op.
And of course, he's always wearing a necktie. He's wearing a blue sport coat that kind of popped off the background. And he's very animated for an old guy.
Very much so. His face was... He's an actor, right? And some of these people... when you interact with him, how the hell are you an actor? You're so stoic. He is an actor. He's very expressive, so it was cool.
And while you were doing that, I went and met Dean Cundy. I think I'm pronouncing that name correctly.
I hope so.
I hope I am.
Someone has to bleep it.
Yeah.
Don't say the C word on here.
And he is famously, he's really an iconic cinematographer and camera operator for many of John Carpenter's films, and he did... Back to the Future for Zemeckis, and he did Jurassic Park for Spielberg. Really, for his profession, there are few with more iconic credits. So I got him to sign 2 of my mini poster projects.
And while you were doing all of this, I was still fighting the the photo op lines. Welker finally started. It was easy. Johnston was pretty easy. And while on the line, I realized that the language of combos supersedes the spoken language. I befriended an Asian man. Linder's running away from the microphone. Anyway, this guy did not speak a lick of English. Well, not much English, at least. And him and I had a whole conversation about the photo ops. No words exchanged. It was all just like
gestures,
sounds, and
How are you gesturing about photo ops?
He's pointing to the tickets, all these different things. And at one point, we're talking a lot. He's right behind me in line. So I decided to pull out like a translator app to try to help me. So then I realized, I don't know if he's speaking Chinese or Japanese or what. So, as any bomb diffuser would do, you pick you pick green or red. And I picked green. And I put it onto Japanese and I show him and he tells me no, Chinese. So then I switch it to Chinese and then we really get to talking. And
I just want to state for the record that there are more than 2 Asian languages.
I understand. I'm going to go with the heavy hitters. What are you going to do? You're going to lean on the classic.
I feel like he would start with Laotian, right?
Well, honestly,
I'll work my way down.
He's throwing shade to Korean, to be honest with you.
Korea. The numbers in Korea are soft. I'm not worried about them. Anyway, so I ended up translating the Sharpie Social into Chinese, and I invited him to the Sharpie Social. He took a picture of it, but maybe it didn't translate well, and he went...
Spoiler, he did not show up.
He went to a different, Portillo's, where he was, gunned down.
He drove to a Portillo's an hour and a half away.
It didn't translate the street right. But yeah, so that was that. I met up with you, and we got Mr. T.
Mr. T, so he was dressed in a Chicago Cubs uniform. And I like it. For a man is he 80? He's got to be 80, right, Mr. T?
Let's see.
Black does not crack.
He's not 80.
How old is he?
He's 74.
All right, so
maybe it does crack.
But he doesn't look a day over 80.
You mean for 74? It was after 8 p.m. It was actually about 8. It was about 8:30, and he was just overflowing with positive energy. He was really having a good time. Mr. T is a great person to meet.
Oh, he's exactly a week younger than my mom. That's kind of weird.
And he really was. It was a good. The photo op was excellent, and the experience was excellent. Do you have anything to say about Mr. T?
I already did. He's a week younger than my mom. That's it.
But all of this is to say that the delay that these downed servers caused.
Well, Mr. T was originally scheduled for 7:30. The photo was not snapped until 8:25.
Thank God I bumped the Sharpie Social back.
And we ended up arriving at Portillo's. Really,
it was 8:45. 8:45.
It was 8:45, 8:50-ish. Yeah.
Which all considered, given the potential for catastrophe, I think to their credit, Leap Epic really handled this very well and managed a very unfortunate situation and largely caught up. I was impressed.
And once we got the Portillo's, a good time was had. I actually have to count. I'm counting the people in the photo. That's how packed the Sharpie Social was.
We arrived. There was a welcome party. There was a welcome wagon.
Yeah, I was very, very, very happy. Honestly, very surprised at the turnout.
Actually, but before we talk about the guts of the Sharpie Social, Sean, do you want to touch on? I did a little bit of shopping on the floor of the con.
So I actually, this was a lot of fun for me. I was I had a good time with it. So the little rat over here was interested in acquiring. There is an issue of the comic Marvel Team Up that involved the cast of Saturday Night Live. It's a cute little crossover, and Marvel was known for doing crossovers like that. They did one with Letterman, right?
Yeah, the Avengers meet David Letterman, which is really fun. Yeah, I encourage people listening to Google it because it's a hilarious illustration of David Letterman on the cover.
It's really just all tooth gap, right? That's the
it's all gap.
Yeah. And so he, Zach shows me the issue, and he pulls it up, and then he goes to one of the many comic booths, and he asks the guy behind the thing, "Can you find me this comic?" Thank you. Do you have this comic?
And I showed it to him on Google Images on my phone, showed him the cover, and I think
the guy looked at you with a mixture of confusion and outright contempt.
This guy, like, how many boxes is he schlepping to Chicago to sell? He is here to sell comics.
Hundreds of pounds of comics, possibly thousands of pounds of comics.
We've all seen these guys at cons. Dozens of boxes full of comics that these people will never sell. And I am showing up saying, I want to buy one.
And so, the guy looks at it and he's like, maybe over there in the Marvel section.
But he mumbles it.
Yeah, and he barely like waves his arm in the general direction of where those boxes might be. And so, of course, do you
remember what I said to him? Because he was so vague with his gesture, I told him, "Can you point to the box?"
Yeah, he really didn't even after that.
Yeah.
But so even his boxes were like reverse alphabetized. It was just weird. So I finally found the box to start looking.
And he is not unusual among these comic vendors.
They're all the same.
Most of these vendors behave this way. There's a reason they can't sell their inventory. They show up with the same inventory at every con.
So incredibly, I'm like stunned by this. We finally find the section with Marvel Team Up, and it's like the second or third Marvel Team Up issue that you pull is the comic you're looking for. It was popped up very quickly.
Well, yeah, we found, we're like, oh, it's M here. Oh, Marvel must be here. Marvel Team Up must be here. Oh, here's the Marvel Team Up, and then we know it's Marvel Team Up number 74, issue 74, and we're rifling through, and they seem to be in chronological.
But he didn't have all of the episode, all of the issues.
He did not have all the issues, but you saw the issues going up numerically, and then boom, there was 74, and I pulled it out.
You excitedly extract it from the dusty old box. And you go and hand it over, and it was whatever. It was a 50% cash discount.
Yeah, it was stickered for $10. And there were signs everywhere. Half off if you pay in cash.
The guy didn't even say like, "Oh, you found it. That's great." Nothing. You would have thought like it was the most mundane, joyless thing in the world, right?
I don't know why this person was there. He is choosing to spend days of his life doing this. If he does not get pleasure out of an individual coming to his booth and buying an item that no one in their right mind is purchasing other than me, what is his reason for living? And you know what? This is why the Little Rat exists. To call out boneheads like this who ruin the hobby for people with their outright orneriness.
It was really a strange...
Did you buy from him?
Yeah, $5 cash. You can't beat it.
The Little Rat's a sellout.
It was really one of those things that was remarkable because, like, I got excited when you found it. I have no skin in the game whatsoever.
I don't think either of us could believe it.
I was totally stunned. I really had written this off as like, this is not happening. And within like...
You were like, oh, Linder's going through the boxes.
Right. And I swear to God, it was like within 3 minutes of beginning the search, we found it. It was so fast that it was crazy. And you really would think the guy would be like, oh, that's so cool, or show some kind of interest. Fake it. I don't know. To have general basic courtesy. No. None.
No. Instead, his demeanor was as if I had told him his grandchild had died.
Just miserable. So maybe
his grandson has.
Maybe that's why he was stuck at the con.
Yeah.
He couldn't go to the funeral.
Now I feel bad that I'm railing on this guy.
You were worried about me not acknowledging Korean as a potential language, and then you did this.
That's right. Well,
not right.
May his memory be a blessing.
So that was that for me at the con. And did you do anything that I didn't do?
Billy Baldwin.
Oh, that's a funny one. So you did you always have a Saturday ticket for him, or
no?
You bought one.
I didn't even say this. I got so frustrated and angry with the PJ Souls autograph line. I ended up trading in at the autographs line. I don't even care. I'm not dealing with these autographs. The way I strongly like Fan Expo. I don't love it. I loved it when we walked in. I didn't love it by the time we walked out. Getting autographs at a show like that when you're GA, it's tough. It really is. And I don't want to deal with that many autographs tomorrow, and that's when I had a lot of autographs, so I ended up trading them in, and one of the things I traded in was for Billy Baldwin, and I ended up getting, because the Sunday, the Friday thing wasn't there, and I'm going to kayfabe exactly what I did, but I ended up getting in, and I walk in, and what do I see? I see a Knick hat. So I walk up to Baldwin, I said, my shorts match your hat. And we embraced, we were yelling Nixon 5. He told me he went to San Antonio. You would have hated the whole interaction.
Did you look at Billy Baldwin and say, my bagel Jewish? My mayor month?
Yes, that was nice. I got him. That was basically it.
Yeah, so overall, day one I thought was great. Yes, there were technical issues, but at the end of the day, they handled them as best they could. They got the train back on the tracks. They remained calm. People generally remained calm. There wasn't a lot of yelling or carrying on or chaos. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
It's very clear that Fan Expo wants to be regarded as a professional operation. And they want to, and optics are clearly important to them. And you go to some of these cons and it's not as evident.
Right. Like an Altoona type, they're kind of willing to sort of let it fly, let it rock.
And the hotel cons are different. Chiller's not like that, but that's kind of the charm of Chiller.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we done talking about the con, or did I miss anything?
Yeah, pretty much done. I'm excited for tomorrow, but I think Kurt Russell autographs are going to be a...
Oh, so we got to talk about the Kurt Russell autographs.
Time drain.
So I went and... So I'll say that I screwed up and did not purchase Kurt Russell autographs. And I texted you guys do you guys have any ideas? And you each were kind enough to sell me one each of yours. You had each bought 2. And
were you venting or fishing? I gotta know.
Oh, I was very much venting. I did not expect you to have extras.
I thought that was a savvy fishing job.
No, absolutely not at all. I was seeing if you knew anybody who had, or what groups should I post on. I don't know. You guys always have con hacks as well, Dana, you just kayfabed one, yeah. But you each sold me one, and Sean, the one that I bought from you, you sent me the QR code. So when I arrived at the con, you guys were in line for the Obsession guy, I redeemed... So for Kurt Russell, you have to redeem your QR code at a table in advance of the autograph session to get a ticket to use at the table. So I did that, and I got my ticket.
And not for nothing, but I still, for the life of me, will never understand all the extra rigmarole. There is no benefit to doing this. None.
They must have some logic. I don't know what the logic is, but they must have some logic for it. The only other time I've had to do this was for John Cena at Fan Expo Philly. They did the same system.
The only possible reason I can think of is that his team wants a physical count of tickets so that they can validate the numbers they do at the end of the day.
That could be. But when I redeemed it, they handed me a ticket that said 415 on it. So I said, "Oh, there are times for the autographs."
That's how it was with Mel.
And they're going to run through the times. So I came down to you guys and I said, "You guys, because you're going to be busier than me, should send me your QR codes so I can get you the tickets, so you guys aren't getting autographs at 11 p.m. at night. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but so you sent me the QR codes, and by the time I made it up there,
an hour had gone by.
It was about an hour later, and those tickets had 5:15 on it. So we'll see tomorrow if they allow me to show the 4:15 ticket, and for us all to go in at the same period to get the 4 autographs. We'll see.
We will. I have a feeling this time window thing is going to go straight out the window. Judging by the number of people walking around with tickets that say 4:15 on them. Kurt Russell's never done a con, and he's going to be some growing pains initially on how long he takes and how he handles people telling life stories and how he handles people asking for multiple colors or quotes or whatever. I know the team's going to be very heavy at the beginning as far as basically not allowing anything. But on the other hand, I just feel like when you're spending that much money on an autograph, you actually do deserve a little bit of customization. So I'm curious what level they allow him to get away with tomorrow.
I think it'll be very much like Mel was in Philly, where it's a conveyor belt. I bet you're going to hand the item off, they're going to hand it to him. By the time you're up there, it's done, basically. And there's not going to be much, you're not going to be telling them much of a life story unless your life is very short and there's not much to tell.
Are you getting? Are you guys getting anything else tomorrow besides Kurt Russell?
Yeah, I got some ops. The only thing I'll try to do at the table is I think I could probably do Captain Hook from Once Upon a Time. That's like unpopular enough that I could. We do.
I think I mentioned VIP Once Upon a Time is a deeply unpopular.
That's what I'm saying. So I can walk up there and get him.
I mentioned to you earlier that I had wanted to start an Eternal Sunshine project and get Elijah Wood to sign a mini poster. And I thought, okay, I'll get to the con, and if all is going well, I'll buy an Elijah Wood autograph, and then I'll go get an Eternal Sunshine 11x17 from some vendor. I'm sure it exists on the show floor somewhere.
I wouldn't make such bold predictions.
It definitely doesn't. But go on.
Well,
and it does. It's covered in coffee.
Well,
by the way, sorry, but one of the VIPs that cut me in the Obsession line, he had the vinyl soundtracks.
I saw one fan with one as well.
What was I saying? Cut this out. It's late.
I have no recollection.
So luckily, I didn't have to find an Eternal Sunshine poster because Elijah Wood autographs were sold out.
Kind of remarkable that things were selling out, but I mean,
he was relatively inexpensive, I think, for a star. I think he was $100 an autograph,
something like that. But that tracks. I mean, he's earned that. He's earned that money. Who was priced very high? Never mind. It wasn't at this show. It was the Monster Mania show. Who was priced 100, 180?
Bryce
Dallas Howard. Yeah, which I think is high. But anyway, anyone else? What else are you getting tomorrow?
One of the top living stars of the Jurassic Park franchise at this point.
What are you getting tomorrow?
I think I already told you. I'm getting Kurt Russell. I'm getting the Harry Potter twins, photo op only. I'll probably bring my PJ Souls print in my bag if her line isn't as crazy tomorrow, which probably will be, and I have some time. I'd like to get her. Whatever I can do. We're not getting to the show at open tomorrow, so we're gonna have some time to. We'll see what we can get done on top of what we have locked in. If I get what I have locked in, I'll be happy.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to make the executive decision to cut listener questions this week. I feel like we just
I barely wanted to add them because I knew we weren't going to do it. But.
Fair. Valid. So what's coming up for us? Well, while we were at the con today, we got the instructions for the Keanu Reeves meet and greet that's happening next week. But what's funny is the instructions are a little bit vague because they don't actually state what time the meet and greet is occurring. They tell you what time you have to check in, but they don't state. There are ways of reading it. One way to read it, what you would think is going to start at 5 o'clock. There's another way to read it where you think it's going to start at 8 o'clock. And I would give both equal weight if I were predicting.
I think it's going to start around the sound check. So the sound check, they're going to come off the stage and do it. Which is how it always kind of...
So what are you going to do?
That works better for me.
That works better for
Yes,
you.
because I'm going to go there first and then just leave and go to Central Park Summer Stage and then do some plan after that. Because I'm entitled to the meet and greet mingle with Simple Plan and the formal photo op. If I miss the mingle, I don't really need Simple Plan autographs. I have a signed vinyl of their biggest album. The formal photo op I want, and then the other part of my VIP package is I get to watch songs from the stage. I'll get up on the stage and that'll be fine. I'll just hang out. It's like not a big deal. So that's all fine. As long as I get my group photo op, I'll be happy with that. So what else do we have coming up for us? You have Chance the Rapper coming. When you found out that you believe that the meet and greet is before the show, and so you kind of happily said, well, that means I don't have to stay.
Yeah, I was kind of excited to see the show, but not excited enough to actually see the show. I'll be happy to get out of there by 6 o'clock.
We also have Dallas coming up in September, New York Comic Con in October, the Dan Aykroyd book signing at Bookends. Is that sold out yet? Do you know?
I think so.
I hope so. No, but I don't know.
I'll be there. I have my ticket.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You gonna shoot for any extras?
Yeah, maybe one.
You didn't put Gary Sinise on here.
Yeah, I forgot.
He has a book signing. And then we have Chiller in October, the big event, and of course in November, and of course Steel City is now in play in December as long as I should say J.K. Simmons remains booked.
You skipped the most important thing that is not upcoming for you, but is upcoming for me and Dana, which is nearly immediately upon arrival home from Chicago.
KenCon.
KenCon 3, where Ken will be introducing Aretha Franklin.
So what's funny about, I'm not, this is in no way meant to disparage Ken or his show. If you told me I could go into KenCon and get a combo with every single one of the guests for free, I would still not attend.
It's 10 minutes from your home.
About 15, if we're being honest. I just wouldn't, I have no interest. And that's me kind of losing interest in wrestling. That's part of it. Also, these people, I mean, I don't even know who half of them are. So
neither do they.
Yeah. So I feel bad because I enjoyed.
I'm excited for KenCon because I will be completing.
Who are you getting?
So I'm really going there mainly for two talents, and that's Steve Corino and Taz, who are the last two I need on the only signed title belt I have, which is the kind of more modern design of the ECW World title. And I started this project only a little bit earlier this year to get all the living champions who held that version of the title to sign it. The only one who's not alive is Mike Awesome. So everybody else I can get on it, and I have, except for Steve Corino and Taz. So I'll be able to complete it.
And listen, if somehow Taz and Steve Corino die tomorrow before KenCon,
It's complete.
it's still complete. And you got some extra money in your pocket.
It's not wrong.
And what I'm getting, speaking of dying, is IRS. I have my IRS Hasbro. It is stored safely right now in your home. And, yeah.
You have Hacksaw too, right?
Yeah, I got the Ultimate, which I don't even know why. I like the Ultimates. When I purge more of my figures, which
You're going to purge the Ultimates, not the Hasbros.
You're going to purge the
I
Elites,
think I would keep the Ultimates, and the Ultimates would probably be the only new thing I would keep until they make something better, which, I mean, I don't know if they ever really could.
Now, your IRS Hasbro, is it some kind of fakakta Spanish carding?
No, it's English.
Or
Chinese.
Japanese. It might be Japanese. Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, I think that's it. Did you enjoy this escapade?
I enjoyed it.
Did we talk about the Sharpie Social?
No, we didn't
At all.
No.
So you said you were going to count the people.
I
and you
did.
didn't.
9.
Nine. Is it including us?
There was 9 of us. Yeah.
9 of us at the Sharpie Social. 9 is.
They were hanging from the rafters at Portillo's.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I appreciate each and every one of you in the Northeast that has come out to these Sharpie Socials, but we're getting some love in Illinois. That our home region.
I thought it was pretty incredible. Barack Obama showed up. He said, just came from the library.
So are we naming them or no?
I don't think I'll probably mispronounce most of the names. We had Victor. We we had Yagin, who I've been calling Yagin.
But I think that's not his name, though. But that's just kayfabing his name, yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, he's Yagin.
Yeah.
We had
Sean Bewick, I believe is his name.
Yeah, we had.
He's got his full name out there.
We had Tyler and Tyler's wife, Emily.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I felt so bad.
I'm bad with names.
Did you forget her name? Or?
At the Sharpie Social, I told the story about how I got Tully Blanchard's autograph, and I really Larry Davided the hell out of it when I requested that Tully not include the Bible verse that he typically includes with his autograph because I'm Jewish and the New Testament has no meaning to me. And then I look over and I forgot Tyler's wife is wearing a t-shirt with a big cross on it.
I mean, that doesn't change your Judaism.
It doesn't change my Judaism, but I hope I didn't offend her by...
I don't think it was offensive. It was just a funny thing. And I do think, to be totally candid, that when you ask someone for an autograph and they start writing Bible verses, what they're really doing is proselytizing. And I think it's your right to ask someone to not proselytize, regardless of the circumstances.
If agents can tell us not to record with glasses, we can tell wrestlers not to write Bible verses on our items. I think it's fair.
I do find when people try and proselytize in a situation where it's just not called for, I know they would argue it's always called for, but...
Wouldn't it be funny, though, if her t-shirt did change my Judaism?
You saw a t-shirt and you were suddenly... Yeah. No, but everyone was super cool. I mean, I was laughing almost the entire time.
It was really fun, and everybody seemed to enjoy their local Chicago eats.
Yeah, we each had a Chicago style. No, I had a Chicago style hot dog. Dana had a chili. Inexplicably, didn't get a Chicago style hot dog.
I knew I wouldn't like half of what made it Chicago.
Dana's dinner cost $4.
That's called being healthy. Then I split. I still owe you half of the whatever, the Italian beef. We got to figure out what that costs.
You got a lemon cake for your birthday.
Free.
There was, what else was on the table? There was Polish sausage on the table. Yeah. There were cheese fries. The Chicago hot dog. There was chocolate cake, the famous Portillo's chocolate cake.
Polish sausage on it too. We told Sean to put it away.
Sometimes I just drop it on the table.
It was a real sausage party.
Yeah, there was a willing female participant I thought she was funny.
I don't know how willing she was. She had fun, but I think I don't know.
By the way,
to another one.
I'm sorry, I don't think that I caught her name, but God bless her. She told us this story about how she had a medical episode. Poor Tyler was hung out to dry on that story.
I was in Tyler's corner. He did the right thing.
He was being beaten up from every angle on that one. I was great. That was
she told us this story about how she suffered a real kind of medical emergency that lasted for a significant period for the sake of combos.
In no way are you exaggerating.
This poor woman could have died of sepsis because Tyler needed to meet Thor.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. It was Chris Hemsworth.
He's expensive at cons now.
Yeah.
So was the copay.
No, it was a great story. Everyone seemed comfortable. We were sharing all kinds of stories, and what's sad is there were even more people who were supposed to come who begged off at the last second or couldn't come at the last second.
Like Dana's new Chinese friend.
Yeah, I mean, he was one who was supposed to come. But other members, and so, the next Sharpie Social is in Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm very curious if anyone shows up or if it's going to be us by ourselves.
We need Burris.
Burris has to show up, as a minimum. I mean, we know Burris forever, but there's got to be other people in Dallas or or attending that con.
Well, just for the sake of inclusivity, make sure when you make the flyer that you train
multiple languages.
Yeah, you want to post multiple versions for all of the Chinese listeners in Dallas, Texas.
Oh man. So I think that's it for this episode.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time. We'll see if I feel the same way when I have to wake up for breakfast in 2.5 hours.
Did you? You're not going to Dallas.
I'm not going to Dallas now.
You should.
I do have a family.
You know what? Listen, they're not going anywhere. They're stuck with you, really, if you think about it.
Well, technically, no. My wife could at any moment.
Could she swing it? You're needed. You're a needed part of the unit, right?
You're a little rat, damn it.
I'd like to think so.
But yeah. So thank you for joining us. This was fun. I had a great time tonight. It was a long day. I was up at 5 a.m. Dana, you were up probably 4 a.m. right?
Yeah.
And it's almost right now. It's almost 4 a.m. Chicago time. So you're rounding the corner on 24 hours.
Well, with the time change, he's
he's
over
24
He's
hours.
at about 25.
So that's a little bit unsettling, but. But that's right. You know what? You don't have to drive. Right? You're not driving.
I mean, I could. Let's go.
No, I would not. No. But we're gonna have a good time.
Let's go to the Home Alone house now.
We have good plans tomorrow morning. We're gonna roll into the con a little late because we can.
My first thing isn't until 3:20. The duo with Carpenter and
yours
and
is at
Russell.
1:30.
I got the twins at 2:40.
2:40. That's even later. So we do have some flexibility.
We got all day.
We can do whatever we want.
We can do the Ferris Bueller parade
if we want. We have the whole day for this. All right. So for markedout.com, Marked Out Collectibles, Marked Out Radio, I'm Sean.
I'm Dana.
I'm the little rat, baby.
And we will see you next week.
Caught me off guard. I'm not used to the outro.